Evidently, this is two different links.
Oh, it is being recorded. Okay.
Yeah, hold on. This is coming up, I guess, with two different links because the one you sent to my phone, of course, this is the one that I'm on, but the one that you sent to my email, that's not coming up at all. I don't understand that.
Hello, 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 everyone. So, welcome to the Wealthy Trustee Masterclass. I'm super excited that you guys are here. Tonight, we have a phenomenal masterclass. My screen looks a little like it's cloudy. One second. Let me see here. Oh, there we go. Nice and clear. Okay. I must have had some fingerprints on there. Anyways, super excited that you guys are here today. We have a phenomenal masterclass plan for you guys. So tonight we are going to be talking about creative financing for real estate. So we're going to be talking about all things real estate. Our guest speaker is Michael Thomas. So he is the founder of Kinship Properties, where he buys, sells, and rent residential properties. So he has been in this space for decades now, and he pretty much acquires these properties using creative financing and pretty much like subject to deals, right? And so he's going to be teaching you the step-by-step process of real estate investing and how to actually get into this space using creative financing and being in a position to where you're using other people's money instead of your own money. So I always promote this. I always tell you guys that if you want to be intentional about building wealth, then you want to use other people's money instead of your own money. So he is based in Memphis, Tennessee, and he's agreed to come in and do a master class for you guys tonight. And I know that a lot of you guys are interested in real estate. So why not bring one of the industry experts to come in and teach you a different way than what you're traditionally used to? So he is unconventional in his investing style, and I wanted him to be able to come in and share that style with you guys tonight. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and bring up Mr. Michael Thomas. Thank you so much, Michael, for coming on and agreeing to educate the community. You have the floor.
I appreciate it. I really do appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to um, speak in front of your tribe.
You're so welcome. I'm excited that you are here as well. I know that we have had a couple of encounters, and every time that we see each other in these different spaces and conferences, it's always have something to do with real estate, and it has something to do with, you know, funding and with acquiring properties. So I just want you to be able to share all of your knowledge and your expertise with our community because they're highly interested. Some of them are investors and some of them are eager to get into that space. So I know that they can learn a lot from you.
He surprised Grandma with a song after not.
All right. All right. Well, as she said, my name is Michael Thomas. I'm here in Memphis, Tennessee. She said I've been doing this for decades. It's trying to make me feel old, but really only 16 years. But I've been doing this. So let's get started with this. I don't know where everybody's from. Good afternoon, good evening, I'm here in Memphis, and I want to start off by asking people a question. What if I told you could buy real estate without any money out of your pocket, or very little money out of your pocket? And most people be like, that's not possible, because we've been taught that we need good credit, we need to go to the bank, we got to put 20% down, all those things. And it sounds good, and we've been brainwashed to think that. But I started my journey in real estate with no money because I didn't have any. Uh, I didn't know my credit score, didn't even look at it. I assumed it wasn't in good shape. Come to find out later it was, but that's another story. And so I ended up going to a lot of these coaches that you guys may have heard of all over the world, all over the country. And I paid those guys a lot of money to teach me how to do real estate. And one of the things I found out that I gravitated towards was what you call subject to deals, or private money, hard money, or seller financing. And so here in the last year, my last 4 transactions have been subject to seller financing, a combination of both of those strategies put together. And that's pretty much what we've done the last 4 properties that we bought. And I'll give you some numbers a little bit later on. But I really wanted to see if anybody had any questions at this point when it comes down to those types of strategies, before I go any farther.
Yeah, seller financing. Are you talking about just, I don't know, walking up to a for sale by owner and negotiating yourself? I'm just curious about that.
It could be for sale by owner. It could be a house listed on the MLS. The last 2 properties I bought, both were on the MLS. And the way that I got those leads is that I went out and networked with a bunch of real estate agents. And I just told them, hey, you guys come across a deal that's kind of hard to get sold because it's got a bunch of problems with it, or the owner's got a problem, just let me look at it. And so the last 2 that we purchased, one gentleman had moved out of the house. The house has been vacant for 2 years, still making a mortgage payment, but he lived in Michigan and he wasn't coming back to Memphis. So we approached him. I paid him what he owed, literally what he owed on the house. No money to him. He didn't need any, didn't want any. And we just took over the payments. Now you gotta make sure you got the right paperwork when you do these types of transactions, so that you don't get in trouble. Some people here may be familiar with this thing called due on sale clause. So if you take over a payment and the name of the deed changes, sometime the bank might reach out to you and say, hey, we're gonna call this loan due, you breached the contract. Just be prepared to pay them all cash and get rid of the problem that they're trying to put in front of you. Now,
Yeah.
I can just share you my personal experience. I bought a property myself, put it in my LLC name, and they tried to call the loan due, and it was the property that we own. And basically, I'm just gonna share with you what I did. I just asked them simply when they called me, and I said, have we been late? And they said, no. So if we haven't been late, you're trying to say we breached the contract. I said, we have a performing loan. I said, I tell you what you do. You go ahead and start foreclosure process. And I just quit making payments. So we hung up the phone. I never heard from them again. We just kept making payments on a house that we already own. I have never had anybody house that I took subject to. I never had anyone call me and say, hey, we're gonna escalate the loan. We need all our money right now. Because some of the houses we bought were in foreclosure, pre-foreclosure. So
Yeah.
what happens that way, they're not making payments. All of a sudden we come along, we get the payments caught up, and we keep them paid from that point forward because we put them on automatic payments. So they got to make a decision. Hey, call the loan due, or let it stay a performing note. And most of the time they probably gonna just leave it like it is. I haven't heard but one person where the loan was called. Normally when the loan gets called, it's like the interest rates that we were able to get like 2 years ago. If you got a 3% interest rate and now they're 7.5, they may call the loan due so they can get that money back and then push you back out at 7.5. Unlikely, but they could do it. Just got to be ready to pay it off if you can. If you enter into a substitute deal.
Yeah, how was the property and transferred into your name by doing it that way? Just the paperwork?
Yeah, so we close with a title company all the time.
Okay.
And so we get a warranty deed
Okay.
and transfer it over to our company name or to a trust, preferably a trust.
Okay.
Is the way we prefer to do it. And that's it. Just a regular title company.
Is it a purchase and sale agreement you do, or what kind of agreement do you
Yeah,
have?
just a regular, in our case, just a regular 2-page purchase and sale agreement.
Okay.
And the same with seller financing. We do the exact same paperwork, exact same purchase and sale agreement with seller financing. And now you just got a promissory note and a deed of trust that you give into the current owner that's going to do the financing for you.
Makes sense. Thank you, brother.
All right. Any more questions?
How does it work? Good afternoon, this is Antonio.
Okay.
I'm a vet. How does it work using my certificate from the government, and let's just say purchasing a duplex to eventually turn it to an Airbnb?
Well, if you're a vet and I'm a vet as well, so you're gonna be applying for a regular VA loan if you're gonna go that route to get a duplex or a fourplex.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're gonna be getting a loan outright. So creative financing probably wouldn't work for you other than initially getting the house under contract. Now you might say, let's see, I have never took a VA loan and coupled it with seller financing or seller financing. So I don't know if that can even happen.
Mm-hmm.
But you're getting 100% financing from the VA, so I'm not sure you would need any help.
Okay.
Yeah, you just need to find a proficient VA lender that knows all the ins and outs and get you rolling about multi property.
Yeah, there's a guy out here now that's teaching a course on how to do that, but I didn't want to jump into that.
Is that the military to millionaire guy?
Yeah, the Asian.
No, not yeah. I've seen that Asian guy, but this is another guy.
Oh, you talking about the white guy with the hat?
Yeah.
Yeah. I looked at both of them.
I mean, I haven't listened to either one of them. I not long enough to know anything about their program. I just know that if I'm a vet, not I'm a vet. I mean, I can go down here and use VA loan just like you can and go get me a duplex or a fourplex. Move in one side and rent out the other three or the other side.
Right.
Now, if you want to just for extra information, which I'm pretty sure then you just get a conventional loan, do a refi, and get your certificate back. Just repeat the process.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's probably what he's trying to talk about, or talking about in his course. But like I said, I didn't purchase it, so.
Yeah, most people don't think you can use a VA loan one time. You can use it as many times as you want to. All you got to do is take it out of the VA loan, get a conventional loan. Now you can use the certificate again.
So that's what I got to get a hold of, is the certificate. Okay.
All right. Now, so let me get a little extra since you brought that up. So knowing me, I would go out and get a house subject to seller financing, put it in my name, then go get a VA loan.
Okay.
That's probably how I would go about that if I was going to use my loan for that type of purpose.
Hey, so question while you're on that topic, just getting seller financing, right? Putting the property in your name or your trust. I mean, how are you getting the funding for the seller financing, right? Seller has a duplex or single family selling for $200,000. I mean, is that just a hard money lender, or what's your strategy there?
It could be hard money, but I prefer private money. So what I do is I talk to friends and family, and I raise capital from my friends and family. Just to let you know, I pay my friends and family 8 to 10% on their money. I keep it for 12 to 24 months at a time. And so let's say, let me get you an idea, like, so if y'all hear that vacuum cleaner, this guy here is he's like running up and down the hallway. I hope that ain't bothering you guys. I don't know why he keeps going by my office. But anyway, so one of the last houses that we purchased, We bought it for 100,000. I borrowed 35,000 from someone that's part of our local real, as a matter of fact. So she loaned me 35 grand for 12 months. This house is worth 225. When we finish doing the renovation, we're gonna go ahead and refinance it for 168,750. Pay back all the money to the loan that we took over subject to. Pay back the private lender the 35,000 we borrowed from her, plus the interest that I owe her, closing costs, points on the loan, all that. I still should walk with about 25,000 tax free. And that thing is gonna rent for 2150 a month. And my PITI should be about 1,500. So we're looking at about a $600 a month positive cash flow, 25,000 in my pocket tax free, and we have $0 of our money in that project. Did that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, it does. In terms of you trying to do some renovations, where is that money coming from?
The 35,000 that we borrowed from the private lender.
Okay, thank you, brother. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Any more questions?
I have a question.
All righty.
Okay, so my question is, have you ever used like the land grants or the USDA land grants, I should say?
No, I have not.
Okay. Okay. Mhm. So we're in the market of buying a home or a house. I don't so much want to do a duplex or multiple houses, a multifamily at this time, but I would like to, like, after we get our first location.
This is gonna be a primary resident?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have one in mind, like our house is the house that we are renting right now is being sold, it's on the market right now.
Mm-hmm.
But life is lifing. So, finances are not there. And I was trying to find the best strategy to try to secure this house.
To secure the one you're interested in?
The one that we're in right now.
Will the owners do seller financing? Did you ask them?
We're not on the greatest terms. I had slumlords.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Is there a real estate investment group in your city or town where you live at?
They are the groups. They're a part of the groups.
Well, you still can go to the meetings and talk to somebody else and say, hey, anybody got a house they're willing to do seller financing with?
Well, I can't do it because it's dead. Okay.
Or
Any
just
other
get the word out that you're looking to buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
You ever also, like, if you're driving around town, do you see signs that say for sale by owner?
Say that one more time.
I said, when you're driving around town, do you see any signs that say for sale by owner?
No, we want to get this location that we're in right now. We've been here for a couple of years, a couple of decades. So we want to stay right here.
Do you know what they're selling it for?
225 or 235.
You happen to know what it might be appraised for?
It probably is less than that. It's probably like 200.
Well, so they want more than it's worth.
Oh, they want way more than what it's worth. I know what's wrong with the house. They don't. They bought it on a short sale.
Okay.
And all they do is collect rent. They don't do nothing to the house. Long story short. But it could be a very good investment because of the assets on the property.
Yeah, well, if they trying to get 235 for a $200,000 house, I don't think you got anything to worry about.
Yeah. Maybe, maybe not.
Well, I wouldn't wait.
Hopefully
I would at least go find something else just in case they do find somebody crazy enough to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
At least have something out there, whether you end up going there or not, at least have some kind of lifeline out there.
yeah, we are doing that. That's why I was asking about the land grants. Because we looked into NACA, and I don't know if anybody on the line has done NACA before, but we were looking into them.
My girlfriend used NACA to buy her house.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it helps with the financing, and that's
Mm-hmm.
about all. I don't think it did anything else other than I mean, she had great credit in the first place, but
Mm-hmm.
I think they might have got her because her interest rate is
Oh,
3 point something, but she bought this house back in 2000.
oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
So it was like it was 3.75 or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I found some. We found some location with a couple of acres up there, about 14 acres up there, that we were looking at to use in the land grant and doing the multifamily house up there. It's zero down, but I'm not quite sure how the process goes. And I've heard from some people, and just doing research on YouTube and stuff here, they've said that it could take a couple of months before it comes through.
Okay. Well, right now, if they're asking 235 for a $200,000 house, you guys are currently in that house, which
Mm-hmm.
means if they did find a buyer, the buyer would have to take in consideration, uh, making the house look the way they want it to look.
Mm-hmm.
So they're already asking more than it's worth. They're not you ain't got to worry about that one going nowhere no time soon.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, appreciate it.
No problem. Now I wanted to go with private money and hard money, or does everybody here know what the difference is between private money and hard money?
No, we have some newbies in here.
Okay, so my definition of private money is people in your cell phone. Hard money is people in your cell phone that professionally lend money. So my sister, my girlfriend's sister, my brother, all those people are private money. They don't do this all the time. They don't know nothing about points. They don't know nothing about all that stuff. All they do is loan you the money. We give them a promissory note and a deed of trust, which is secured by the property. We also let them be the lost payee on the insurance. These things I'm sharing with you right now, all the things that a private lender needs to get from you to give him or her comfort that, hey, if something happens, I'm protected. So they lend money. We treat them the same way. If I was borrowing money from B of A or Wells Fargo, they get the exact same paperwork. And that's how we go out and pay all cash with houses. And then we turn around, renovate them. And in our case, we do a portfolio loan. And I don't know if is Travis on the line today? So Travis is my lender.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Can you
There
guys
go
hear me?
Travis. There go
What's going
Travis.
on, Mike? I'm traveling. Hopefully you guys can hear me, but I'm here.
All right. Well, I just wanted Travis just to share with you guys what we've done in the past and what we're currently working on right now, if that's okay with you, Christina.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what'd you say about Wells Fargo? Because I had missed that part. You said private money is.
Well, I mean, Wells Fargo, like if I go out and get a traditional loan from a lender, they're gonna get a promissory note and a deed of trust. They're gonna be listed as a lost payee on the insurance. They're gonna get a title policy for the lender, things like that. We provide those exact same documents to a private lender. So if you were to loan me money, I'm gonna give you all those same documents that I would have given Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whoever gave me the loan. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
So Travis, you still there?
Yeah. So what's the majority of the group doing currently right now? Just so I can kind of highlight what we offer and what we don't offer. Is anyone doing like ground up construction or fix and flips, or is it more DSCR? Just so I can highlight our strong points.
Well, we just want to talk about the ones that we did. That's what what I've done with you and what we're currently
Yeah.
working on right now.
Yeah, so for Michael, I've met Michael back in 2021 when rates were 4.25. That's when he really loved me.
Yeah.
But right now we're working on a portfolio for Michael Thomas. And the thing that's different from us is really just the no asset, no bank statements, nothing really anything personal to qualify for this loan. So all we really require is it to debt service. And what the debt service is just, it's a simple formula. So whatever the PITI is, principal, interest, tax, and insurance, as long as the long-term renter is paying $1 or actually even a penny more than what the PITI is, you guys qualify. And no bank statements, no tax returns, no W-2s, nothing like that. We don't even care your employment history. We just care that the property is currently cash flowing. FICO is taken into consideration, but it's not a deal killer. So for this instance with Michael, he has 4 properties that we're wrapping into a portfolio. And the advantage of doing that is just the fees. So he's saving on all these fees. He's doing one loan, one deposit, one payment, and it really just simplifies everything. And he's not providing anything besides a FICO pool on his back end. So his FICO came in very high. We ran the numbers, the property, we wanted to make sure that the property appraised for what it is. So we're an asset-based lender. So all we care about is the property is what you say it is. And if it is, we have no problem on it. We don't care about the financials because it's currently bringing in cash flow. And everything checks out on that end. And so we're going to move forward with the process or the appraisals and then go from there. And he's going to get a nice check on the back end so he can buy some more properties for himself and he can scale quicker. And that's really how me and Michael met. Obviously, he can do this everything on his own, but he's able to scale quicker. And that's how we've just built that relationship and gone from there. So.
All right, I appreciate it, Travis. I just kind of want them to let you know that this is a real, we got a real person here that can get you money.
Yeah.
And I'm just sharing with you guys what I did. I went out and bought houses with creative financing. Then I got with Travis and said, hey, here go 4 houses that we bought creatively. And now we want to put them in one big loan. So now. All right. I appreciate it, Travis. Thanks for that.
Thanks, guys. Sorry for my connection. It's a little fuzzy over here, but I appreciate it, Michael. I'll drop my information after too.
All right.
Yeah, and so Travis is not your private finance. He's considered your good type of financing.
He's the long-term permanent 30-year fixed money.
Okay. I like it. Yeah, we need his info.
I had a question also about Travis and what he does. With the portfolio loan, do the homes that you're buying, Michael, like, do the homes have to be worth a certain amount in order to qualify to do that? Or like, say, for example, you're looking at houses that are 30,000, but you want to pick up 4 of them and you want to renovate and maybe put that into a portfolio loan and then roll those into, a 30-year mortgage. Is that something that they do or that you've done with him? Or is it more something you're flipping, or, does the value of the home have to be more than that?
You want me? I can take it. The homes typically have to be appraised for at least 100 grand. I think Travis does have a product here recently where you might can go down to 70. I'm not sure, but I think he told me you can go down to 70 now. But before it was 100 or 125 minimum per property.
Yeah, are these going to be turnkey, or are you strictly 30K and then you're going to put some rehab into it and then refi? What's the background on the properties?
Yeah, they would be rehabs. But I mean, if the requirement is that they have to be a certain amount, then then that could be
Yeah,
turned.
so Michael is right. So if you're trying to just jump straight in to do a DSCR, we need the property to appraise for 100K.
Okay.
But we understand if there's some value add, we're able to go down to 50,000 as far as a loan amount. So if the property is worth 30,000, it needs 20% or 20,000 or 40,000, whatever it is, we can roll that into that and build that into the loan. So we do fix and flips as well. And then after you did that, then you can refi into DSCR.
Is that
So-
the require?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna ask, is that the requirement that in that case you would start out as a fix and flip loan and then you would roll that into a long-term mortgage? Is that the idea?
Exactly. So yeah, that'd be our fix and flip program. So it would be 90% of purchase, whatever it is. So in this case, it'd be $3,000 down. And then we do 100% of the renovations. So whether it's 20, 30, 40, or 50, we finance 100% of that. And then after it's done, we get the new value and then we can move you into long-term rent. And that's kind of how that works. So there's no way around getting the two loans, but it is a way to get to these smaller properties to get the value that you need and then get the rental income that you desire on the back end.
And then while you're fixing it up, are you making interest-only payments or
Yeah,
how?
so it's all interest only, 12 months, no prepayment penalty. So depending on how quickly you can get in and out, it's basically a percent a month. So if you can move quickly, if it's more cosmetic, I would say between 3 to 6 months. If you're moving walls and doing all that, maybe you need the full 12 months. But it's no prepayment penalty, and you can refi as soon as month one. So it kind of depends how quickly you move.
Okay, and then what's the loan to value ratio? I mean, what do you guys, let's say it's a turnkey, not a
Yeah.
fix and flip.
So 85% will be our max. So 85% of the purchase price. And then we go down to 50. So 80 to 85 is kind of is the sweet spot.
Okay, so 85% of whatever the purchase price would be, we would have to come up with the other 15%.
Yeah.
And then from there, and if it's a turnkey, is it just the one loan then? Or are you just rolling it into the?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just one loan, depending on how many. A portfolio is just more than one. So it's 2 or plus properties. Michael just has to have a ton. So we're just doing him in bundles as he needs money.
So
And-
if I have a turnkey that you guys can do up to 85%. So like if I have 3 turnkey properties all in one partial, you guys can do 85 up to 85% on that, as long as they are
Yeah, do you know what
cash
the
flowing.
mortgage is? Do you know what the mortgage is on that by chance? Or are these going to be purchases?
They will be purchases.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, as
Right
far
now,
as
they're cash flowing for about 1,500 a piece. 3 different
Okay.
properties, 1,500.
So as long as the tenants are covering that PITI, we're going to be no questions asked. As long as the appraisal comes back and you say that comes back with the value, whatever it is, we'll lend on it. So
Okay.
very
Depending on your
straightforward.
FICO, what are you seeing with interest rates depending on your FICO?
So the lowest we go down to is a 660. I do have a credit guy that can get anyone up like 40 points within 21 days. That's a conversation we have off camera.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, but 660 is going to be our bare minimum. Fix and
Perfect.
flip, we can go down to 600 just because it's a 12-month loan. We're not locked in for 30 years, so we're not going to hold you to that FICO.
Yeah, what are you seeing with interest rates if I'm doing a 30-year fix?
The best way to do it on yourself is just go to a 5-year treasury. Just go on Google. So right now it's about to go under 4%, which hasn't been under 4% in like 6 to 7 months. So it's trending in the right way. Rates are coming back down, but you never know.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I would just watch the 5-year treasury. That will kind of give you guidance of whether rates are going up or down.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a
Okay, so,
question.
go ahead.
So if you do a fix and flip, you have to, if you want to do a DSCR loan, you have to do that second after the fix and flip is done?
No, if there's no rehab done or it's already gonna appraise for 100K plus, you can skip that step and jump straight into a DSCR.
Okay, but what if you want to do upgrades and fix the house, like do a 203K loan?
Yeah, you'll have to go into a fix and flip bridge. So you'll have to do a 12-month loan, and then after you're done, then refi.
Are you able to reside in the home during that time or no?
No, so that's the thing with the hard money. It has to be an investment property. You can't
Okay.
not live in it. It can't be owner occupied. And that's how we kind of get away with the no income W-2s, 1099s. As soon as it goes primary, then because of the 2008, 2009 situation, kind of our hands are tied at that point.
So what if you have your trust own the property or purchase the
Yeah,
property?
then that's fine.
That will be fine. And
Mhm.
will you be able to use like the land on the property while the house is being fixed?
What do you mean by use?
Like for storage and for like say if you have a destination trailer to
Mhm.
keep while the house is being fixed?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just pretending you didn't tell me that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, they don't need to know that. That's totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And does the property needs to be like cleared out before it's purchased
No, not
in a fix and
necessarily.
flip?
It just can't be a disaster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a disaster.
Mhm.
Just know when it's when what's behind the walls.
Gosh, okay. I got you.
And what documentation do you need in terms of seeing that it's cash flowing? Just 12-month lease agreements or?
Yeah, exactly. So it has to be, so when we get on the appraisal, it's going to give the as-is value, and then the appraiser is going to give the market rents in the area as well. So as long as that lease is at or within 10%, we're going to go off with the higher of the two. And that's kind of how we're basing the DSCR.
Love it.
Travis, do you service all areas or are there states you don't service?
We're nationwide. We just don't do North Dakota, South Dakota, Vermont, and Alaska.
Okay,
And we
great.
love
And then the highest
Tennessee.
in,
Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, you can finish.
Oh, we love Tennessee and we love Arkansas as well. A lot of the Midwest. And then we do a lot of these smaller value properties as well.
And what's the highest interest rate you would say you guys are charging right now?
For fix and flip or a DSCR?
DSCR?
I would say high sevens, and then we can get down to the low sixes.
And what about fix and flip?
Between 9 and 12%.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
so about 1% a month. Yeah, of
Okay. Looking forward to talking to you offline.
course.
Okay, so let me jump back in. This is about creative real estate, creative
Is the
financing.
information in the chat?
Now you gotta get back with Christina for information with Travis. Can you hear me? Hello.
Are you talking to me?
No, I was just anybody could hear me. I couldn't tell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could hear you, Michael.
All right. So back to the creative financing piece. All the questions that you guys were asking earlier were good questions, but let me share with you my 2 cents, 16 years of doing this business. If you talk to Travis, he'll tell you that I hate going to 75% LTV. I try to stay at 70% or either lower LTV for cash flow purposes. So for these people that got turnkey properties out here, if you go to 85%, your cash flow is going to be little to none, which means a problem potentially could happen later on. That's the reason why I use private money. I use private money. I borrow all the money I need from a private lender, package all those houses up in a portfolio. Then when I come to Travis, it's simple. We don't have to do 2 different loans. My credit only get pulled 1 time. I bring Travis the 4 we're bringing him right now. The 4 we're bringing him right now, none of those have loans on them, not even private loans. The loan that Travis gave me in 2024 or 2022, we took that money and we've been and bought a bunch of houses. We paid all cash with them. So we don't owe any money on these. But if I had bought some, which I do have some in my portfolio, that the example I gave you earlier, we just bought that one about 8 months ago. Took over the payment. And we're gonna come to Travis with this one. We're gonna add that one to 3 or 4 other houses that we have and do another DSCR loan, maybe latter part of this year. And also I like to go try to buy portfolios from people. So I have a 12 package portfolio I'm looking at right now. I'm trying to get the owner to carry financing so I can get them in my name because I got to have them for 90 days for seasoning. Then I can go to Travis and cash out that private lender at that point. So I'm trying to buy them at 65 cents on the dollar, make a little improvements if I need to. Then I'm going to go to Travis at 75 cents on the dollar. And that's how I buy houses. That's how I do it. And I mean, you don't have to do it the way I did, but I guarantee you want to stay out of trouble, keep that LTV as low as possible.
Michael, do you have anything like in writing, not in writing, but just like some anything to see a visual kind of what you're talking about to understand the differences between using the private money and paying that back versus kind of doing the other? Because I hear what you're saying, like the properties that we are interested in do not cost a lot of money because we put our own sweat equity, to fixing them up so that we kind of retain the equity, but we're trying to get out of using our own money. And so just trying to understand kind of what that looks like, what you're saying, but I'm trying to visualize it too.
I don't have a chart with me. I can make something up and give it to Christina.
Yeah, I don't want to put you through too much work, just, but because I feel like what you're saying, it makes a lot of sense. I'm just having a hard time visualizing it. That's all.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
I get
because
you.
you essentially get private money, and then, but I'm sorry. So what's the point of you using Travis, right? If you do have your own money, just because you need to only use 60% of the loan.
Well,
Sorry,
what's the use of using Travis, you said?
yeah, because you were saying you only want to go as high as 75% loan to value or something. You seem like you had your own money, so I was trying to see what's the point of you using Travis if you have. I missed it. I'm driving.
Well, even you never want to use your money. Just because if I had $1 million in the bank, I still be using creative financing strategies and other people's money.
There we go. Okay.
So, for example, let's say you got a house worth $100,000. The way I use my formula is I have to buy that house and fix it up for no more than $65,000. So I got to get the seller to give it to me for a price whereby when I add that person's price plus the rehab, I'm all in at $65,000. And once I get 3 or 4 or 5 of those types of houses, it could be one for 100,000, one for 150, whatever. As long as I'm all in at 65% over all of them, then I go to Travis, and that's how I cash out my private lenders. I keep my money in case I have a problem and I run across a problem in a house that I didn't see. I keep my money for those emergencies. That way my private lender would never know I had a problem so that they can be my private lender again. So that's why I never use my money, or if I do, it's a very little amount.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you. That's brilliant.
Okay, any other questions?
If you have multiple property that you want to fix and flip, is that a possibility that you can do more than one at a time? Or do you have to do one at a time?
I think Travis Financing, you probably can do more than one at a time. I don't know if there's a limit. If you got the capacity to do
What was the
more than one
question?
at a time.
Does it matter if you're new to the game?
If it what? Sorry.
If you're new,
No, not at all. That's the
okay,
best
because
part.
I've heard
Yeah.
that in the past where they've said that you can only do one at a time and then you could take on more at a later time.
No, we love first time investors. At the end of the day, I mean, it's not rocket science trying to map these things out. We just go on Zillow and Redfin, so we're very comfortable with first time investors.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
So the other thing I wanted to cover is, why does this work for the seller? So right now I'm marketing, I'm spending $3,000 a month for marketing. So I have a company that pulls leads that we want them to pull, whether it be probate lead or whether it be for sale by owners, any type of lead like that. And they call on our behalf, ask them if they want to sell their houses. If they do, we reach out to them. And our goal is to start with subject to if there's a loan in place. If it's free and clear, we're going to start with seller financing. So I just told you guys about the one house we just bought where we just bought it subject to. Now we just closed on one February 13th. We bought this property subject to plus seller financing. So we bought this property for $125,000. He owed $95,000 on it. And he gave us a second loan for $30,000. 95 plus 30 is 125. We just paid the closing costs out of our pocket. And that payment to him on that 30K is zero interest, zero payments for 6 months. And that house is going to be added to the other house I told you about that we bought for $100,000. It's going to be worth $225. So we're going to take that house, those two properties, and maybe 2 other properties that we own free and clear, and come back to Travis maybe the latter part of this year and do the exact same thing with a DSCR loan. So in this particular case, the guy had got relocated to Jacksonville, Florida from Arkansas. He's making a mortgage payment in Arkansas. He's paying rent in Jacksonville, Florida, and it's killing him. So we came in with a solution. He had it on the MLS. It wasn't selling. The agent called me up. They let me talk directly to the seller because I don't like going through the agent, going back and forth, back and forth. It's better for me to talk directly to the seller. So him and I, so they and I can cash out everything right then and there. No, tell the agent something. Agent tell this client, come back to the agent, come back to me. We cut all that out. And but people that are in pre-foreclosure, behind on their payments, struggling just to sell the property, all those individuals are individuals that are pretty good to approach from some type of creative financing, whether it be seller financing, subject to, combination of either one. Lease options. I've never done a lease option or rent to own as an acquisition strategy, but we do that on the back end. So my business partner and I, we sell our properties to our current tenants if they want them, and we're the bank to the tenant. And that's how we're getting out of the landlord business. We're selling all our houses, but we're the bank to the tenant or whoever wants to buy it from us.
Michael, how do you get your leads primarily? I know you talked about like especially the foreclosures, and then when you're talking to the real estate agents, but you're doing creative financing, do the real estate agents, are they hesitant to let you talk to their clients because it's a different kind of thing, or how do you normally find your leads?
After 16 years, most of the time people call us now, but we do market, we do drive for dollars. When it comes down to the agents, it took me a while to build a relationship with the current agents that I currently have that know, hey, I got a problem property. Let me call Michael. So agents care about one thing, commissions. So we still pay the agent as though they sold the house to anybody else. We pay them the same thing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. So for example, this last agent, we paid her 4% because I paid the buyer side and the seller side. So she still got paid exactly what she would have gotten paid if it had a sold the old traditional way. So as long as you make sure that the agents are clear, I'm going to pay your commission. And hopefully you're talking to one that's like, oh, I'm still getting paid. He's doing all the work. Because once they give me the phone number to the seller, they're out of the picture until we get ready to sign paperwork.
So is it so that the seller doesn't feel like it's a loss to them because they're doing creative financing? I mean, it sounds like, are you trying to focus on homes that are not selling versus homes that, they can just sell because somebody else is going to come in and already have that financing in place? Just trying to understand how you're getting the property and where it's a deal for you and it still works out for them
I
with the
can buy
eight.
I can buy a house and pay retail if the seller gives me my terms. You can pay more for a house as long as the seller gives you your terms. Does that make sense?
I'm processing. I'll let you continue.
Okay, let me give you an example. So I'm gonna give y'all one of my secrets. The way I buy houses is I call it the rent method. How much can I rent it for? So if I can rent a property for $1,000 a month, the first thing I take out is $350. That's how much I want net every month. That leaves me $650, right?
Yep.
So out of that 650, I'm gonna take out taxes, insurance, property management, a vacancy rate, and CapEx. CapEx just means I'm setting money aside for a phone call for some type of maintenance call. So once I take the taxes out, the insurance out, the property management fee, a vacancy rate, and that CapEx, once I take all those out, it leaves me a number. So let's just say all those together ended up being $250. That leaves $250 from $650 leaves $400, right?
I'm with you.
That $400, I take that $400, I reverse engineer it in the mortgage calculator. It tells me how big of a loan that $400 can support. This is how I buy my houses. You would never ever overpay with that strategy.
No, I get that. I get that because we kind of have I get that. But I guess my question is you know what you can afford, but if that buyer, or I'm sorry, if the seller can get more than what you want to pay, that's where I'm trying to understand, the advantage to them working with you versus a traditional buyer.
I can pay retail as long as that payment is $400 a month.
Okay, so basically, as long as what you want to pay lines up with what the retail price is, then it doesn't matter.
I can pay more. It don't matter. I can pay $150,000 for a $100,000 house as long as my payment is $400 a month. In this
Okay.
example I just gave you.
Okay,
And that's only because I can rent it for $1,000.
right. I got
So
you.
once you take out your profit, always take your profit off the table first. Everything left over takes care of all the rest of the expenses except for the mortgage, your debt service.
Yeah.
So when you do it the way I do it, I just back into buying houses by using the rent method, which is what I call the rent method. It can only rent for this much. Subtract all these numbers out. This is what's left over. I use 8% when I do my reverse mortgage calculation. And it's going to tell me 8% going to come out and say that $400 supports, I don't know, 75 grand. Okay, that's the most I can be in that house for.
Okay.
And so what was your take home? Was your take home the $400 or?
350 is net. 350. The 400 was the mortgage payment.
Okay, gotcha.
That's PI. That's just PI. That's what the 400 is.
Question. So how do you go about determining your CapEx and your vacancy rate?
So my vacancy rate is 5%. Property management is 10%. CapEx, I just put another 5% in there. And the reason I use 5% is because when I buy houses, we renovate them right up front. We don't be playing around. Renovate them. When you buy a house, renovate it right up front. And your CapEx will be little to nothing for the first 3 to 5 years.
So is CapEx based on the location of where your properties are?
CapEx is just money I set aside for repairs after I had bought a house and got a tenant in there.
Say
And I
for
just
instance,
use,
you live in High
go ahead.
Price, New Jersey.
It don't make any difference where you at. If you renovate the house right, your CapEx should be a small number
Okay.
because you're buying the house and fixing it up. My CapEx is money I set aside for after the tenant's in there. Let's say they call and say something's not working. On a $1,000 a month rent, I'm only setting aside $50 a month. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I renovated it up front. HVAC was addressed, hot water heater was addressed, any rotten wood, any broken windows. I'm fixing it up right. So when they move in, I shouldn't be getting a phone call. I can tell you from experience, the phone calls we get are if you have the old hot and cold for the hot water, but for your shower and your bathtub, that hot and cold spigots, stems, those are the little washers, the little black washers on the back. Those are the phone calls I get 3 to 5 years after buying a house from renovating it up front right. Now you might get an HVAC problem, but it ain't gonna be nothing to be too concerned about. As long as you make sure you got a good HVAC system when you purchase it. If it looks like it might be a problem, replace it. But take that into consideration when you get ready to make your offer. Any else?
I have a question, Michael. Another one. What are your thoughts on the multifamily versus single family homes? Because we were, kind of looking to scale and saw a couple of multifamilies that needed work, looked like a good price. And, but after running all the numbers, we were like, well, dang, it seems like the single family might still be the best bet just to maybe try to scale with single family homes. But just curious your thoughts on multifamily versus single family.
Well, multifamily has its pluses and minuses, and the single family have their pluses and minuses. So on the multifamily side, and just to let you know, I am going to Miami next month to hang out with Grant Cardone. The reason that I haven't gotten into multifamily is I have not found. I'm a control freak, and so I would need to be the primary on a multifamily deal. I would have to be the deal sponsor. I don't necessarily want to be the LP. I want to be the GP, the general partner. And one thing I also know about multifamily is still got to buy it right, but you need enough doors to be able to hire professional management. And according to Grant Cardone and a couple other people, the minimum amount of doors is probably 75 and up, preferably 100 doors and up. That's enough doors where you can hire a professional management company to manage the property for you.
What if something as simple like a duplex, like a 2-door or a 3-door?
That's still single. That's still residential. She's talking about multifamily as commercial.
Oh,
So it kind of like it's really up to you. I would say we ended up having a bunch of success with our 32 properties right now. When I listen to Grant Cardone, the other people that have a multifamily, they're suggesting I sell my portfolio and come on over there. But I don't need to sell my portfolio to get in multifamily. I know how to ease over to multifamily. I can still raise private money. Matter of fact, you can raise it even easier when you talk about them kind of numbers. It's harder to raise money for single family than it is for multifamily.
Okay, because I was thinking too, even if you needed to liquidate, it'd be easier to, to sell off one property or another property versus you have a multifamily, you kind of have this big, thing now, so you can't really liquidate because it's all one. I guess another question I would have is, would you consider being your own property management company as opposed to hiring professional property management when you have that many doors that you're talking about?
I am the property management company.
I mean, for the multifamily.
I would not do that. If you're going to
Why
be
not?
in the multifamily space, you
Uh-huh.
need to hire a professional property management company. Unless you own a professional property management company, the answer would be no.
Okay, so you wouldn't consider creating a professional property management company to manage it?
Not at first, I wouldn't. If I had 500 or 600 doors, I probably would.
Okay,
If I couldn't find somebody that I felt would manage it the way I wanted to be managed, but I would have to own the property management companies. I still don't want to be day to day, so I would still have to have employees to answer the phones doing day to day.
I got you. Okay, congratulations on your 32 doors. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
What about property out of the country?
I don't have any experience with anything outside of the country right now. I'm trying to catch up with Christina. She the one got that experience.
How about Travis? Do you do loans for outside of the states?
LOL.
I don't know if Travis still on. He only had a,
Oh, okay.
he had a dinner appointment with his significant other, I think. He had to
Gotcha.
get to.
So let's say you do a subject to deal, right? And you close and everything, you do the deed transfer. Have you ever had a situation where the previous owner did not want to vacate the property?
No, because we're not closing unless they out.
Gotcha.
Give me a prime example. Let's say somebody's behind 20 grand. And we come up with a solution where we're gonna give them $5,000 or $10,000 on top of making the loan current. So that means I got to come up with 30K for them to move. So they're not gonna get the $10,000, and I'm not gonna pay the $20,000 to reinstate the loan until they're out of the property.
Makes sense. All right.
And
I got a
never
question.
ever let the tenant, never ever let the owner stay.
Yeah, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for that appreciation. And I agree with you with that, never letting them stay in, because sometimes they just get seller's remorse and they just start doing all kind of stuff to not get out, basically. But have you ever had a situation, or do you, when you take your properties down, do you record a memorandum of the agreement or the transaction? Because I recently had one that I did where the guy did the same thing. He tried to act like, he didn't understand the terms and conditions of the sale and say, oh, I didn't know that's what was going on, even though I had them sign and initial every detail of my transaction. So I ended up going back in hindsight and recording the memorandum, but I know I should have did it in the beginning when I was recording the deed. I should have also recorded, something else. Because typically what I do is I would create a land trust in the name of the property and then become the beneficiary owner so that I don't have any issues with like due on sale clauses and stuff like that. So my question to you is, do you typically record a memorandum sometimes if you haven't changed the deed over? And in this case, I did change the deed over to the trust, but I didn't, it was just like, it was just the trust being done and no evidence of the transaction.
So did you do a closing or not?
Yeah, I did. I did a tabletop closing though, with me, the seller, and the notary.
Yeah, I don't do those.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't do those. I go through a title company. The reason I go through a title company is because it gives more credibility to the seller.
Mm-hmm.
Got an attorney right there that's explaining stuff to the seller. And so now if you do have to go to court for anything, you got all those things in your favor. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I do those. It's kind of weird though. I use the title company. They let me do my closings there because he's one of my business partners. So he'll let me do my tabletop closings there. and he'll sit and facilitate the signatures, and I'll act like I'm just the buyer and not the one really actually orchestrating the transaction.
Are you getting title insurance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the trade-off. I'll still have him do the title insurance and just do some part of that transactions where he still makes money.
Yeah.
He's not pro bono, just letting me use his space. So I
Right.
have to throw something to him. But I had a recent situation like that, and it was in Baltimore City, and Baltimore City is their own creature. But even when I recorded the memorandum, they still made me pay transfer tax. But they recorded the whole contract. So I was like, okay. But the issue that I had to do it because the seller tried to turn around and renege on the sub 2 agreement.
Right.
So that's what that was. Because what I do is I'll buy them sub 2, but I'll partner up with the seller and I'll do the renovations, and then we'll put it on the market, and then we'll break bread on the end. I take it down sub 2 to protect the construction money. So that way I don't have to record a promissory note or anything like that on my construction. I just take over the property in sub 2 in the form of a trust, with me being the beneficiary of the trust. But
Yeah,
that's
I
all
don't
I
do I don't record memorandums because if somebody wants to back out, I just let them back out. I let it go.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not gonna. If there's an issue going on, if they want to bag out, something's going on somewhere. I didn't do a good enough job to get them to trust me enough or whatever, or they might have. Now you got those people that might have got another offer bigger than yours. Like, go ahead. I'm not gonna deal with that. They might end up having to come back to you though.
Yeah, and that's what happens. So that's why I do that. And most of the issues that I'm running into is when I partner up with some of these sellers, and then they see the construction, almost near the end, and they start somebody get in their ear and say, "Hey, your house is going to be worth this amount. How much are you making on the deal?" So it's really a greed factor that kicks in, and they try to go back and be like, "Oh, well, the house is technically still mine," and I'm telling them, "No, it's not. You sold it."
Well, if you're gonna partner with somebody, this is who I suggest you partner with. You partner with the private money person.
Yeah.
Not so partner with, so like in my case, sometimes I do JVs, but it's JV with the money.
Right.
Not with the owner.
I do that too.
Yeah.
I'll just have several JVs in place. So I'll be on the
but
front side,
yeah.
the back side.
Yeah, I'd rather do it with the money people, not the homeowner.
Right.
That'll
Okay.
save you some headaches.
You gotta let us know what these acronyms stand for.
Oh, I'm sorry. So JV stands for joint venture partner.
Okay.
So for example, let me give you a clear example. The property I just told you I bought for 100 and I borrowed 35,000 from the private money lender. Instead of me borrowing that money, the private lender and myself went into business together. And on the back end, I could have refinanced that property and we could have split the $25,000 and then we both would have just kept ownership of the property. We could have done it that way. Or I could have gave them a little extra money as a JV partner just to cash them out on the back end. Instead of me owing them 35,000 plus interest, I might have gave them 15 of the 25 that I was going to net, and then they cash them out. So I'm not the borrower now, me and them are JV, and I'm not making no payments on the 35. So JV stands for joint venture partner. GP stands for general partner. LP stands for limited partner in multifamily. So the GP and LP is stuff that you do in the multifamily.
Okay.
So Michael, when you buy your house, when you buy the house, just to understand again, your deals with your private money people, you buy the house, you borrowed money from them, the money you borrowed from them, you're using that money for either down payment or renovations or whatever you need. And then you're refinancing, is that the deal? And once you refinance, that's how you get the money to pay them back and potentially have money left over in your pocket. And then you're also renting it, so you're getting the monthly rent as well. Is that kind of how you're doing it?
You was a 5-star student, huh?
I'm
That's,
listening.
that's exactly how I do it. I borrow 100% of the money to buy and renovate the property from a private lender. I try to keep that number at 65% of the ARV.
You gotta tell them what the ARV is,
The after repair value,
right?
or what they might say the appraised value is. So I try to keep that number at 65% because
Okay.
I know Travis is going to let me borrow money up to 75%. That's how I have zero money in these properties. That these 32 properties, my business partner and I, we have zero of our money invested into these 32 properties.
I get it. So Travis is basically your guaranteed play. Once you
That's
borrow,
how I guess that's how I pay back the private money people.
okay, that makes sense now. I got you. I got it. Thank you
And
for
once you
that.
got it, once you got enough private money people, all you do is just keep doing that same process over and over and over again.
Okay, that the light bulb just came on with that. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you use Travis's appraiser to do all your preliminary calculations prior to going into the subject to, or do you just use the market analysis and go from there?
I don't engage in Travis until I'm on the back end when I get ready to refi. And they call their own appraisers up.
Got you. So you don't,
So,
but you don't utilize an appraiser at all before you make the deal?
no, I've been doing this so long. I've never been more than $5,000 off on my number my whole time doing this business. And my girlfriend is a licensed real estate broker. So we got access to the MLS.
Gotcha.
And where I don't have access to the MLS, just be honest with you, 16 years of doing it, it's pretty, it's what's sold. Stuff that's sold is comparable to the property you got.
Right.
And you want to do it by square foot, not just going out this, hey, that one sold for 100, that one sold for 98, this one over here sold for 90. I'm gonna find the square footage and I'm gonna do it by square foot. That's gonna get you the most accurate number.
Gotcha.
And sometimes you got a real hard one where you don't have a lot of comps. That's where my rent method comes back into play. So I don't know if Christina is still out there, if she can make me like a co-host. I can show you one document that I use.
You are a co-host, Michael, and I'm out here in the wilderness, not available. I'm kidding. But Michael, he has what we call eyeball work. Y'all know what that is, right? He can just eyeball a property and he already know what the value is.
I don't know if I'm that good.
You don't know if you're that good? You just
Yeah.
look at it and you're like, okay,
Can y'all see that?
yes.
Here's my cheat sheet. Y'all see my cheat sheet?
We see it.
Yep.
All right. This property right here rents for $1,250 a month. This what the taxes were $609. The insurance was $1,000. Here go that vacancy rate I'm telling you guys about. Here go the maintenance and property management. Add it together. Here goes what I want in my pocket. I'm borrowing this money from a private lender at 8%. I know the renovations is $50K. I'm closing costs is about $1,000. I put down $500 earnest money. The most I can pay for this house is $24,922. I would never ever overpay. Does that make sense?
Sure do. Perfect
Perfect
snapshot.
sense.
So this is my little tool that I use when I look at a property. I use this, I use comps, and this is it. And this is it. Now, that number right there, this 553, that's the debt service, right? So I can pay more than this down here as long as they let me make my payment of 553, which guarantees me this 350. Does that make sense? Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
So I don't care. I can pay more. I can pay more. I can be all in for more. As long as they let me make that $553 a month payment to them, I can pay $1 million for this property.
Makes sense, as long as the property paying for itself.
Yeah, this is the key to the whole thing. This debt service number, this is the key to the whole thing. I don't care what they want. As long as they let me make those payments on a seller financing term or a combination between seller financing and subject to. If my subject to number is $450, that means all I can pay them is $103. If they let those two come together, I can pay them whatever amount they want. And if that ain't gonna work for them, then obviously I got an all cash number, which might not work for them as well. And if that's the case, if you change your mind, just let me know and go to the next one. So this is my little cheat sheet. And I call it the rent method, starting right there. That's it.
Hey, Mike, do you
Yes, sir.
do you buy sub two deals packaged up if they meet your criteria and numbers?
I've never had anybody bring one to me. I'll look at almost anything.
Okay.
If somebody has something, I'll look at it and go from there.
Okay. So that's interesting. I mean, because I can package them up all day. I just don't do anything. I sell the paper typically. So
I mean, hey, I do wholesale deals from time to time. I just did one 3 weeks ago.
oh, okay. Yeah, I wholesale the sub twos. I'll package them up, make sure that they make sense, and then I'm out.
Now, do you have a portfolio?
No, I get rid of everything. So if it comes in, I package it up, I sell it.
Well, if you're willing to let me give you 2 cents, I wouldn't do that.
And I understand that concern because it's almost as if I got the agreement with the sellers, and then I'm stepping out of the deal. And if they default, then it's not really them to the seller, it's me defaulting, right?
Not only that, you're not building any wealth.
Well, not with that model. I mean, my buy and holds that's a different scenario. That right there is just a cash cow.
Yeah, but if you're gonna go through that much work to do the subject to, I don't think it makes sense to get. You done done a lot of heavy lifting to do that. So I don't think that you're not getting compensated enough for that heavy lifting, structuring everything together, then handing it over to somebody else. And then, like you said, you did show the liability you're setting up there because you bought it. They're under pressure. It's you they're gonna be reaching out to if they quit making a mortgage payment.
Well, what I do is I bring them to the table early in the deal so that it's a mutual understanding in those cases.
Yeah, but when they can't get that person, who are they gonna call?
Oh, well, that's who their agreement is with. So
They still gonna call you if they can't get in contact with that person because you was involved.
yeah.
But
Well,
if you don't package the subject to deal, dude, and it works, I wouldn't be getting rid of it. If I get rid, I'm not. Well, I'm like I said, I use cash out refis on the back end, so I don't have no money in the deal, and I got cash flow.
right. One of the ways I've been protecting myself on that scenario is I put something in the contract called a performance clause. So if they default or they mess up on those payments, the property will automatically revert right back to the seller, and they can just sell it again. They don't have to foreclose or nothing. So that's one of the trade-offs that make that buyer stay in line, but also protects that seller too, so they're not getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah, well, right now, as you know, wholesaling got a negative connotation to it right now.
Oh yeah.
So the safest bet when wholesaling today is close. That's the safest thing. If and the only other thing better than closing is like what I do. I give you guys one more secret. I wholesale my houses to turnkey providers. So here in Memphis, Tennessee, we have 5
No, it's only moving forward. You can always readjust it. You're getting your back knee down to it, and it needs to just.
So I quit sharing now. So here in Memphis, we have 5 turnkey providers, the big boys, the REI Nations, Memphis Invest guys. Every one of them need 50 houses a month. So 5 times 50 is 250 houses a month that these guys need. So I don't have to go add nobody else to my buyers list. I just got those 5 guys, and I can tell you for today, out of 16 years, I've only used 3 of them. So with these guys, ain't nobody flaking. I know they're gonna buy this house. That's how. So right now, between them, myself, and the title companies, even though they are making these rules for wholesalers, we don't have to really be too concerned about it because we're closing. And then I make sure I'm in a position to close. I did have a person flake on me one time that wasn't a turnkey guy. He flaked on me, but I had the ability to close. So I went ahead and closed. Now, a month later, the guy that flaked came back and made me whole. Well, not made me whole, but he came back and did what he said he was gonna do. But I charged him an extra $2,000 because I had to close. So I just charged him the money that it cost me to close. So that's just so I'm just telling you what I did. I found turnkey providers in my city. If I wanted to come to Atlanta right now, if I wanted to come to Dallas or go down to Miami, where Christina used to hang out, I would go there, find me the turnkey guys, ask them, give me your criteria. What are you looking for? And they give me their criteria. That's my shopping list. I go out and find them what they want. So if you came to Memphis and you asked me, what are you looking for, Michael? I'm going to tell you, I'm looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, all brick, mostly brick on the slab, and 3 zip codes in Memphis. The only 3 zip codes, I want you to bring me something that I might keep in my portfolio. I'm gonna be real specific. 3 bedrooms, 2-bath, all brick, mostly brick on the slab with a 2-car garage or carport, fenced in. Don't bring me nothing else. And that's what I want them to give me when I ask them turnkey guys, what are you looking for? The turnkey guys might say something similar to what I said, but they're gonna say, hey, I don't want nothing under 1,000 square feet. I don't want anything built before 1980. They might be more specific like that. And I don't want to be in this part of town. And once you get you 3 to 5 people that gave you a list like that, go look for it. Find it, give it to them. And that's how I did what I did. That's how come I do my wholesale deals. I'm like, they already don't talk to me. Matter of fact, my relationship with my turnkey guys right now is such that I can give them the address of a house that I'm thinking about wholesaling to them, and they'll tell me what they're gonna pay. Then I just take that number and I go to the seller and negotiate down. That's kind of where I've gotten after 16 years. Like, hey, the last one I did, the guy said, hey, Michael, I'll give you 138 for that property. The sellers wanted 125. Well, that was a no-brainer, right? Turnkey guy said, I'll give you 138. So I ran over there as fast as I could, put the house on the contract for 123. And I just sold it 3 weeks later.
Was there
And
any
so,
equity already in that deal afterwards?
so what do you mean was any equity?
As far as for the turnkey purchaser?
It was, but my sarcastic answer to you is, what do you care?
I got you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they raised their hand for 138, then they did their due diligence, right?
Facts.
So if they was happy with 138, I was happy with it too. But yeah, this house probably should be worth about 230 when they finish.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a great position with them type of buyers. And sometimes they don't even care about equity because they got to deploy money. They safer deploying it into a secured asset like property than anything.
Yeah, like so for the new people on here, let me expound on what he just meant. So my turnkey guys are selling properties to people in Singapore, Australia, out of the country. People out of the country need to park their money. They don't even care about rate of return. They just need to park their money in American real estate because where they live, They might have political strife going on. Something's going on. They need to park their money. So they'll come over here, they'll get these turnkey guys and say, hey, man, I need 100 properties right quick. Especially the Asian community. They'll come here to Memphis. They'll buy 100 houses and they'll pay retail or close to retail. We got hedge funds that come to Memphis. They buy 50, 100 houses at a time. If you got a plug with the hedge fund guys, they'll pay up to 85% most of the time. They used to. I don't know what they're doing right now, but they used to pay up to 85%. With no problem. You ain't have to worry about it. So for you brand new guys that are trying to get into space, wholesaling or some form of wholesaling would be an easy barrier to entry. And if you can make 10 grand in 30 days or less, go do 2 or 3 of those deals and then maybe do a buy and hold deal creatively. Any more questions?
Michael, I just have one more question for you. I was a little confused when you had your max offer up. I noticed you talked about how much the mortgage amount was, but then I saw you said max allowable offer, which was like 20,000 or something like that. Is that, how are you? I didn't understand. Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
So how is the 24,000? I got confused on that. Who are you offering that to, being that it's below the mortgage amount?
Is this 24,992?
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Yeah.
922? I'm
Yes.
offering it to the seller, to the homeowner.
Okay. So if the home is worth 75,000, how are you offering them 24,000?
I don't know what this house is worth. We just know this number is going to put $350 in my pocket.
Okay. So I guess going back to the question about if you're targeting houses, and I know you say that, well, you could pay retail, is this a different scenario than that one?
Nope. I can pay more than retail as long as this formula works. I don't care what, it could be $1 million house. It don't make no difference.
So if the house was worth, so if the house, let's just say the house was for sale for 75,000 and it was a foreclosure. So you wanted to contact them and you do these numbers and then you see max allowable offer is 24,000. Are you going to offer them 24,000 even though they put the house up for 75,000 and that's what it's worth?
No. What I'm gonna do is first find out what I rent it for.
Okay.
And I'm gonna run through this scenario.
Uh-huh.
And then if it's for 75,000, they're in pre-foreclosure. Did you say they're in pre-foreclosure or what?
Oh, I don't know. Just, whatever, whoever you're targeting in foreclosure.
Well, I need to know if they're in pre-foreclosure or it's already been foreclosed on, so I can give you the right answer.
Okay, well, just based on the scenario you gave where you're contacting someone that's in foreclosure, because I don't know what scenario, I don't know if that was pre-foreclosure or I'm not familiar with those stages.
Everybody I talked to about today they were not in foreclosure. They were just
Oh, okay,
relocated.
just regular. I got you. Okay. Well, then let's take foreclosure off the table, but maybe it's just a house for sale.
Well, we can do foreclosure. I just did one here recently where the guy ended up losing the house. I'll give you the numbers.
Okay.
The guy owed $126,000 on the house. He was behind by 20K. The house is worth about 280. When I met him, the foreclosure sale was on a Wednesday. I met him on a Sunday afternoon. And the chance to reinstate the loan was expired the previous Friday. But in this case, if him and I could have came to an agreement on that Sunday, I could have wired the 20K that morning, the Monday morning, and the foreclosure may have been stopped. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So your max allowable offer, it looks like that has a lot to do with what is owed on the house. Is that what it is? So whatever they owe, you're willing to pay up to this amount? Is that what this scenario applies to?
The one that I'm telling you right now, the most I would have paid him would have been for him to walk. I probably would have gave him maybe 15 to 20K to walk.
Okay.
Does that make
And
sense?
really, yeah, so I think like I heard you say before, so basically you're figuring out what your max offer is, but also taking into consideration what he owes also, because that's
Yes, I
how
need
he would
yeah,
take that
because I
off.
can't offer him less than what he owes. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I can offer him what he owes, or I can offer the seller what they owe, as long as I make sure it cash flows. So if they owe X and it's cash flowing, let's say they owe X, in this guy's case, just to finish this one I'm telling you, he owed 126. He was behind 20K on his mortgage. The property would have appraised for 280 fixed up. If I had have gotten him to do what I wanted him to do, I would have been out of about $40,000 to take possession of this property. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now that 20, part of that 20 comes out of the 126. I don't know how much it would have reduced the 126 by, because that was, attorney fees and interest, penalties, and all that. I don't know how much of that went towards principal. But let's say out of that 20K, only 4,000 went to principal. That means my loan balance would have been 122 that I owed after reinstating the loan. I gave him 20K. So I'm out of $40,000, right? You follow me?
I'm with you.
Now, this property didn't need a whole lot of renovation. I might have put another 10K into renovating the house. So now I'm out of $50,000, right?
Okay.
So $50,000 plus 122 is 172, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the house is worth 280. 280,000 times 0.75 is $210,000. I'm going to go to Travis, refinance this bad boy at 210, take all my money that I put in the deal out, and walk away with what? It's 28, 38. I might have walked with maybe closing costs and everything. I might have still walked with about 25K of tax-free money and still own the property with zero of my money in the deal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, which is pretty lucky because I'm like, I'm just wondering why would he walk away from it? Even though it sounds like he owed, but it sounds like sounds
He's
like
in
the
foreclosure.
equity in the property. So he could
He's,
have
he's in
potentially
foreclosure.
Okay. So
So he's in foreclosure. Now, to finish this story, it did get foreclosed on 3 days later. So that house sold for 164.5 at the auction. I went to the auction because he did not communicate with me, and I just was curious. So I went to the auction. It sold for 164.5, which is $38,500 more than he owed. Does that make sense?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now
Yeah.
he's owed that money, but he doesn't know it.
Interesting. Okay.
And so I
Did
have
you
another business where I go by and I show him how to go get that 38.5. So I have another business income stream, which is overages for you guys that may or may not know the name. It's overages. And so for 30% of that 38.5, I'm gonna show him how to go. I'm gonna go get it for him.
Okay.
I
But
was
you
just gonna
bought that property. Sorry, I'll let
Say what?
someone else come in.
I was just gonna ask you, how do you go and get the money? Go and get the money on foreclosed properties that's owed to people that they don't know about after sold. I was gonna ask you how do you do it? Because I've seen it on YouTube. I've talked to other real estate investors, and it seemed like it's a tedious process. do you talk about that, or or do we book a session with you, or how does that work?
You have to get back with Christina.
Okay. Hey, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else? Because I can talk all night about real estate now. I don't know what y'all got to do, but I ain't got nothing to do.
You so
Anything?
funny, Michael.
What?
I have a question to go backwards just a second. Can you do a DSR loan and just fix it up when you first buy it?
A DSCR loan is based on what the property rents for.
Yes,
So you have to have a renter in there to actually get that loan on the back end.
correct. But what I'm saying is if you have a renter inside the home already, are you
Oh, okay.
able to fix up the house to your, like, you know how you said at the beginning that you would do all your renovations at first?
Right.
Can you do that with that type of loan as well? If
I've
it's
never
minor work?
I've never done it that way, but let's say you do a deal. Let's say you already own the property, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when the appraiser come over there, if they give you a nice enough appraisal number and there's money left over, then take that money to do the renovation.
Gotcha.
That's
Okay.
not how, that's not, I'm gonna tell you how I would do it.
Okay. Let me know.
Private money. I am not going to talk to Travis until the property is ready to go.
Gotcha.
And I'm gonna use my brother, my sister, my girlfriend's brother or sister, my friends from college, my
I'm
friends
the
from the
only
Marine
child.
Corps.
I did online school.
So I'm gonna use all those private sources. And I can tell you right now, every last one of you guys has $100,000 in your cell phone right now of private money. Now I know you don't believe me, but it's in there.
Of funds.
So if you don't think you got private money, you ain't got nobody to get money. It's in your cell phone right now. Every one of you guys probably got at least 50 to 100 people in your phone. And somebody done lost their job here recently. So I'll tell you where I get my private money from. I get it from IRA companies. So my girlfriend's sister lost her job about 10 years ago. So she rolled her $500,000 over to a self-directed IRA company. And she lent me and my girlfriend the money. And you guys got friends or family members that y'all know that have lost their job and they got that old 401k still sitting at their job over there. They may not be aware that they can take that money and transfer it to a self-directed IRA and lend it to you. And if you don't think you know somebody, then Google self-directed IRA custodians. You might be, somebody like Equity Trust, Quest used to be Quest. Quest it got absorbed by another company here recently. Quest is the company I used to use. If you go to one of their websites, they're going to show you where they're going to be doing a workshop. Go to the workshop. Everybody in there, well, the 90% of the people in there are custodians, clients of the IRA company. IRA company standing on stage telling people what they can do with their money, but they can't give them investments. And so all you do is sit in the background, out there in the hallway, pitch your deal. That's where you get the money at. They got billions of dollars.
How fast do you have access to the money after it's rolled over?
If you're the owner of the IRA, you're talking about you, the owner of the IRA?
Yes, as the owner.
They can wire the money to whoever you have signed a promissory note to, probably within 5 business days, once it's in that account.
So after you roll it over from the 401k into a self-directed IRA,
Mm-hmm.
now, is that a loan to yourself or is that just a cash out?
No, you're gonna do a rollover, which doesn't cost you any money. You don't lose any, but you personally can't use that money. Does that make sense?
Okay, so if I have a company or a
Your company
trust,
can't use, your company can't use, your trust can't use it.
okay,
You cannot touch that money without Uncle Sam slapping you on the hand and charging you a penalty, and then they're gonna dissolve your IRA. What you can do with it though is loan money to other people, or the IRA can go buy houses or go invest in other things. You can't touch the money though. And all the proceeds from let's say you loan me 100 grand out of your IRA, and I'm gonna pay you a 10% return on your money. That whole 10% has to go back to the IRA. You cannot touch it. But what you just did though, is now your money's not in the market going up and down like a roller coaster. You know your rate of return is 10%. And I gave you a promissory note and a deed of trust or a mortgage, depending on what state the property's in. So now you're in control of your IRA instead of giving it to Wall Street. Because Wall Street is taking your money and playing Russian roulette with it. So this is what I teach people when they got money laying around from an old 401k. So that's where you get your private money. Use private money to do the acquisition and the renovation, and then turn around and go to a permanent financing person. It could be Travis or somebody like Travis. Like in the back in the day, the banks didn't like you to do a cash out refi. So I would borrow all the money I need from the private money lender as though it was a cash out refi. So then when I went to a person like Travis, I'm like, oh no, I'm just doing a rate and term. I'm cashing out my private lender. They'd be like, okay, but I already took the cash off the table with my private lender.
Yeah, you were
And I'm
saying go to use your private money, then you go to Travis and do what?
do the cash out refi or rate and term.
And Michael, is that just because you're going to cash out? I mean, you're going to refi with Travis for a higher amount than you bought the home when you borrowed the private money?
Well, back in the day, sometimes the private lenders would only let you take out what you put in the property. And so to make sure I took out that plus a little bit more, which is going to be tax free, I learned how to borrow the money from the private lender up front. So on the back end, all they think you're doing is rate and term. They don't see you pulling money out. Does that make sense?
I don't know if I caught that.
Nah, I didn't catch you. Nah, I didn't catch you. So you
Okay,
get the
so
private money.
well, let me back up. Let's say I buy a property for $30,000. I put 20 into it, right? So I'm all in at 50K, but it's worth 120. Well, if I go to the bank and say I need to do a cash out refi, they don't want me to walk with any money. So all they're willing to give me is what I paid for it plus my renovation. Does that make sense? But
Okay.
if I go and borrow 75% of 120, now when I come to them, they're gonna be like, oh, it's just a rate and term. I'm refinancing the debt that's on there. And I might have took that other 20 and put it in my pocket or whatever from the front end, on the front end from the private lender. They don't see me walking away with money. They cool with it. If they don't see me walking with money, they cool with giving me the loan that I want.
Okay.
The whole reason that I want you guys to just keep in mind creative financing. It does not have to be your money. It does not have to be your credit. Some other creative strategies is, getting an LLC, going out here. I know you guys have heard about this, $250,000 worth of business credit, zero interest for 18 to 24 months, blah, 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 credit card stacking. You guys done heard all that stuff. It's real. You can go out there and get an LLC tomorrow. If you got personal good credit, they might give you a $25,000 credit card from 4 different banks all at one time. So now you got 100 grand worth of credit cards. Just use them wisely to do real estate. That's another form of creative finance.
What are your thoughts of pulling from your primary, a HELOC?
I don't have a problem doing it, but you just got to make sure you really got your stuff tight. You really got to have a real deal. It's got to be flawless because that's your personal residence. You got to have a place to stay.
Right. Turn left. Okay.
I mean, I love HELOCs, especially what you call they got HELOCs that they're called first lien position HELOCs. Those are perfect, magical.
Why is it that?
Because first of all, they're not the type that people will call and reduce. Like if you get a traditional HELOC, the bank might reduce it when let's say we start to have some crazy stuff going on here in the near future, and you got a $50,000 HELOC, and the bank is losing money. A whole lot of folks defaulting on stuff. They'll send you a nice little letter saying, "Hey, we're going to reduce your your $50,000 HELOC down to 10K." You ain't done nothing. You still got perfect credit. You ain't abused the line of credit. You might not even use it, and they'll take it down to 10K to make themselves in a safer position, or they might just get rid of it altogether. A first lien position HELOC, especially one that's designed to do the things that I'm talking to you about, they're not going to be calling you and telling you they're going to reduce it. First of all, you use it to buy the house, or you use it to refinance the house. So it's you using the most of it already. So let's say, for example, I got a $250,000 house. I owe 50K on the house. I might go get instead of refinancing and getting a 30-year fix, I might go get a $200,000 a first lien position HELOC. So I'm gonna use 50K of it right away because I had to pay out that $50,000 balance. So I got a $150,000 line of credit right there that I use like my checking account. I don't use it like a HELOC. I use it like a checking account. That's where I deposit all my money from my job. I don't use it like some other people might use it. And this, when y'all hear about paying your house off in 3, 5, 7 years, this is the strategy that they're using.
Can you say that, give another example of that strategy again? I'm confused.
So it's called a first lien position HELOC. And
It's first lien position when the house is free and clear, correct?
no,
Oh,
like this
okay.
example I just gave you, the house is worth 250.
Okay.
You owe 50K on it. Instead of you going to get a regular 30-year fixed loan or a 15-year fixed loan, you be like, no, I want to get me a first lien position HELOC. So they're gonna give you a first lien position HELOC for $200,000. They're gonna immediately pay off that other 50, your balance. That leaves you $150,000 line of credit or HELOC space, right? You follow me?
Yes, I'm following you.
So let's say you make $6,000 a month. Instead of putting your $6,000 a month in your checking account, you're putting it on that HELOC. And that
Okay.
50K that you owe,
Mm-hmm.
you'll pay it off extremely fast with a lot less interest owed to the bank.
Okay. Okay.
So I know this might be
If
it might be going over your head on some of this stuff, but I just like to let y'all know about it. It's stuff out there, dude. I'm telling you, we live in America, and right now the financial world is getting ready to change because of crypto and AI. And you got to get yourself in position to generate passive income from multiple sources. That's why I do rental properties. I do property preservation. We can do the overages, coaching programs, all kind of things. You got them have coming in from different places, I'm telling you, and they need to be as passive as possible.
I have a question.
Yes,
So
sir.
with the HELOC, do since it ain't fixed, with the interest rate, would they be able to change the interest rate on it?
Yeah, the interest rate's gonna change, but let me explain. So a HELOC is an open-ended loan. It's based on daily balance. 30-year fixed is a closed-end loan. So if I'm putting that $6,000 on my HELOC, now my balance ain't 50K, it's 46,000. I mean 44,000. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So how long is it gonna take for you to get that 50K down to zero if you're dropping $6,000 a month there?
Not too long. Not too long.
So your interest is based on daily balance. So your interest,
Okay.
your amount that you pay in interest is gonna be minimal to nothing. And Uncle Sam let you write it off too. So it's a whole lot of things you gotta take in consideration. Like, hey, you might be paying a little higher on the interest rate because it's fluctuating with the Fed. But I'm paying on daily rate. And by the time it's a calculator out there that you can use to show you how it works. But that's a whole nother course.
Yeah, could you go back about the cash out refinance? Because I have a property that I'm about to be finished with the renovations and everything, and I'm gonna do a refinance on that. But you're saying that it's gonna it's gonna be a limit based off of how much I put in. Like, can you break that down one more time?
Depends on the lender that you're dealing with. The lender might have a restriction on how much you can cash out. Is it gonna be a rental?
Yeah.
So if it's gonna be a rental, what I would do is put a tenant in there. Like in Travis' case, all Travis needs to do is you have a lease and a security deposit. If you got the security deposit from the person, like let's say somebody moving in on April 1st, they gave you a security deposit. That's all you need to show Travis, and he'll do in my case, 75% LTV loan on that property. So if your LTV is less than 75%, then you're gonna walk with some cash. Or if your total let's say you paid all cash for it. You bought it with your cash, you renovated with your cash. And now it's worth what? Give me the numbers. Tell me what the numbers are.
Yeah, so basically I bought it at 50 and then I put in I think about 70. So I'm in at 120. And it's worth about 180 to 190.
Let's go with 180. 75% of 180 is 135. So you end up getting all your money back. You might have 5,000 left over after they do the points and closing costs and all that. So, but you got all your money back. That makes sense?
Right.
So in this particular case,
Okay.
Your numbers are so close that the lenders might be like, he ain't walking with a 5K. They might not care. But back in the day, they didn't want you to take out. They ain't want to give you no more than what you put in there.
Gotcha.
So let's say you was in 120, it's worth 200. I mean 250. Well, if it's worth 250 and you want your loan for 75% of 250, that's 185, 187.5. Right?
Right.
So you all in at 120, but you can get 187.5 out. The back in the day, they'd be like, okay, yeah, you can get 175 out. I mean 187.5, but since you only own in for 120, we only giving you 120. Did that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they used to do. They know they might not want you to walk away with that much money. That's $60,000.
So it's just something that
you just gotta talk
to
that
them
lender.
ahead of time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what if we're trying to purchase a multi-unit? It's like I don't know, it's like 3-door. So it's a 3-door unit. I don't know, it's 400,000, but the rents are like 2,000 piece.
Well, if it's how many doors? 3?
It's 3 doors at like 2,000 a piece, but the owner wants like 400,000 for the units.
You saw my little sheet I got over here? I'm starting with that right there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
First thing I'm gonna do is pull out my little trusty sheet. I'm gonna put 6,000 right here. And then I'm gonna go find out what the taxes, the insurance are, and how much you want per month from that property. And I'm just gonna reverse engineer it. So I don't care if he is asking 400,000. My numbers might say I can't pay him 400,000. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Did you send a link for this or do we have access to this?
No, not this right here now.
Oh, okay.
What would be your desired cash flow in a situation like that?
I want 350 per unit. That's why I would do it.
For the example he just right now where you changed it to 6K.
I want 350 per door. However many doors.
Oh, snap.
So that's
But
1,050.
so 350, hold on, because my phone broke up. So you 350 to 3,500? I mean, what do you mean?
$350 per door. The door is the net profit I want per that for that property. So it's got 3 units. I want $350 net per unit.
Oh, got you.
It looked like it just switched to
Because I changed the 350 times 3 is 1,050.
Gotcha.
I don't have the other numbers to put in here. I would have to get them from him to tell me what's gonna end up being down here. So if it's a 3-unit building, the taxes might be, I don't know, 3,500. Wherever that property's at. The insurance might be,
it's about, yeah,
what is it?
like 2,700.
2,700 for the taxes. You know what the insurance gonna be, what your insurance gonna be?
No.
So we need that number. If I had that number, I can tell you. And then we need what kind of rehab it need?
It's no rehab.
Okay. So no rehab, they want retail for it?
It's a little bit under retail. I mean, certain comps say it could be 500K and they, like for sale by owner for 400K.
Okay, so for sale by owner for 400K, right?
Yeah.
So we need to know what the insurance is going to be and closing costs, and then all you gotta do is figure out how much down payment you gotta give him.
1,700 for the insurance.
1,700 for insurance.
Yeah.
So based on this is borrowing money at 8% now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So now we're at 485,000. So as long as he's willing to take, not he, as a person to sell, as long as the seller's willing to take 3563 a month, you can pay him 400 grand. Does that make sense? If they do seller financing, we're talking 100% seller financing too.
And according to this, it'll be a deal.
You can't go wrong. You're gonna get this 1,050 a month. You ain't gonna overpay. As long as they willing to take $3,563 a month for whatever number you want to pay them. That could be $500,000. It don't make no difference. As long as they take this number right here, this is what your net cash flow is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and then, but I mean, if you're trying to purchase the property and put in your name, is it any different?
No. Your goal is to get him or her to be the bank at $3,563 a month. It don't matter what you pay for it if they're willing to finance it. That makes sense?
Yeah, thank you.
And you paying them 8%. They might go for it, be like, hey, now they might want 10% down. So let's just say you put forward 48.5 down. Okay, so you put $48,500 down. They finance, let's say they finance 392,061, and they're willing to take that month, those payments every month for that amount. So now you walking with $1,050 a month, no matter what.
Yeah, I'll take that.
So the goal is to get the payments right. That's all. That's it. You can pay any number you want to pay, but you can't just overpay, just stupidly overpay. You know what I'm saying? In this particular case, if these numbers are true, and now you just got to figure out how much down payment they want.
But
And
when
then it's,
I'll be able to go to Travis and just get Travis to, give me 75% LTV and just buy it. Is that possible?
75% of the purchase price.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you putting down 25%. He'll do that all day. I want the owner to be the bank first, because now ain't nobody ran my credit. This person ain't running your credit. It doesn't show up on your D. It don't count against your debt to income ratio. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think they want the cash to try to purchase some. I think they want cash up front though. They want the
Okay, we'll run them a number based on. So, do they owe any money on it?
No.
Okay, then give them a number that works for you. That's gonna your payment got to be 35.63. So whatever that number says, if you get them all cash, if you gotta get the cash from somebody else, the most you can pay right now is 3,900. No, we gotta take this out. If you borrow some money from somebody who give you cash, $436,000, and they willing to take a payment of 35.63, there you go.
Dang.
But they don't even want that much. So that means your payment gonna be less.
Yep. Thank you.
Math is magic.
Yep. All you gotta do is keep playing around with it. Trying to get to 400,000. So that's all this is a simple Excel spreadsheet calculator. And I'm a math freak. I went to school to be an electrical engineer. So all my stuff is based on numbers. Ain't got no emotions or nothing involved in it. It's just what do the numbers say? All right. Anybody else?
So the loan is going to close in the trust of the LLC, and you PG it, but is that going to also pop up on your personal credit report as well? Are they going to report that loan on your personal?
Now, if you don't make the payment, it'll show up.
Okay.
But as long as you make the payment, it ain't gonna show up on your credit report. It's gonna be on your LLC or your trust. You just doing a personal guarantee on it.
Got you. All right. And I respect the number concept. I'm an ME myself, so that's what's up.
Yeah. So Christina just put a link in the chat for a replay. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
I had a little kind of slight question.
All right.
You had mentioned, you could do some of these strategies with the new, kind of like the new financial world with crypto and AI. Did you apply some of these at any instances in like a any crypto deal, especially with the new regulation with the president and all that?
I'm a little confused on your question though.
You know how you mentioned like a little while ago you had made a comment about some of the new, you mentioned AI and crypto basically. And
yeah, so AI and crypto is getting ready to change the financial world.
Like,
So it's getting ready to change, it's getting ready to change everything.
So how would you see any like connections with the like real estate, being that crypto is kind of like a new asset class, or do you see any kind of strategies of linking the two type of worlds in that space?
Grant Cardone has something that he's doing with a multi-million-dollar property in Florida right now, and so I would have to listen to his thing. I don't know how he's tying Bitcoin and that together, but he made a statement that the Bitcoin was going to be free for him. So I don't know how he's doing that. So I don't know if they're going to talk about it when I go down there in April, but I think it's on a Zoom call, or if you go, if you know how, if you ever mess with Grant Cardone, you know you mess around and give him your daggum email address, he's going to bombard the heck out of you.
Yeah.
So if you just go to his site and put your email address in there, or at least put an email address in there that you want him to have, he'll send out, because I think he's still trying to raise capital for that project, and he'll explain how the Bitcoin and that property is tied together. And I didn't watch the video yet.
No, that's cool. I was just interested in knowing if that was anything, because I know some people that they kind of tie it by just putting certain clauses in the contract to say accept certain amounts or certain things just in Bitcoin, and it's just stated in contracts, so they kind of incorporate it that way. But I
ain't got to that. I ain't got to that one there yet. That's new for me, but I take crypto. I take Bitcoin. If somebody gonna give it to me, I wouldn't go buy it. But if somebody gonna give it to me, I take it.
That's what's up.
Why would you not invest in crypto or Bitcoin?
Bitcoin is already out the gate. It's too expensive, and it doesn't have a utility. Bitcoin is a place for you to park money, but you need to have a whole lot of money to play with Bitcoin. So I have to talk to Christina about that. I ain't got that kind of dough.
You funny, but I heard the same thing about Bitcoin. It doesn't have a utility. So be careful with BTC.
But if you got $100 million, you need to park somewhere. Okay, go get some Bitcoin. And if you park it there on Monday, it's at 80,000 or whatever. It might be at 90,000 by Friday. Cash it in. But it works if you got a lot of money. So it's you might not believe it, but it's people out there that's got too much money. You just got to find them. Once you find them and give them a product that they're willing to invest in, you be good to go. I make offers on houses all the time, whether I have money or not.
I like the sound of that.
All they can do is say no. But if anybody ever say yes to me, I've already crafted it as a deal because I know how to use my little Excel sheet. And then I also know how to use some other little things like I say, creative financing, seller financing. Just make sure the payment is, as long as I got cash flow, at least a minimum 350. If I'm netting 350, I pay them whatever they want, as long as they finance it for me. We got anybody on here that got some money laying around doing nothing?
Nope.
Everybody in the community is loaded.
Ha ha.
I don't know why Kamala. I don't know what. I don't know why Kamala's laughing.
I got a dollar. I got a dollar. Hey, 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 hey.
They're all loaded.
Well, I mean, but I really want you guys to leave here knowing that it's 100 grand in y'all cell phone. Trust me, it's in there. You just got to talk to the right person.
It's not. Well, It's one person I can contact. My dad, he does have plenty of money in them IRAs and pension plans and all that. But I couldn't ask him to give me a pack of ramen noodles. So he believes in, saving his money. And he's not gonna take a gamble on. Well, he's the one who told me about investing in mutual funds and, going through Fidelity, dollar cost averaging. He does that, but to uh, give me some money so I can start doing investment properties, that's the only person I know who has the money. My father, but he's not. He's
It's
a
people
penny
in your
pincher.
it's people in your phone that have lost their jobs. They
Okay.
have, you just don't know who they are.
They need to
And
tell.
why? But they're not gonna raise their hand and tell you because they know what you're gonna do. You're gonna ask for the money. But if you can show somebody how they're gonna get there, how their money is protected with your strategy of buying properties at a discount, you make sure you know more than 65% all in. You already been pre-qualified, or you can be qualified with a person like Travis. It's a no-brainer. I'm all in at 65. Travis gonna give me 75. How you gonna go wrong? You just gotta say what I just said enough time to enough people, and somebody gonna be like,
Okay.
okay,
They're gonna say, okay.
Yeah, because you
yeah,
said what? You in at 65, Travis gonna give you, what you said?
I'm all in at 65. Travis gonna let me cash out refi at 75. How can y'all go wrong?
Okay.
Trust
Now
me.
you're gonna have me going through these contacts.
Well, you just gotta know what to say to them. How are they protected? A promissory note, a deed of trust. They're gonna get listed as a lost payee on your insurance. It's gonna get recorded. You can't say I didn't loan it to you because it's recorded down there. Is it public knowledge? Is it recorded?
Mm-hmm.
If they don't pay you, if you don't pay them, what do they get?
The house.
There you go. And the house is worth more than you borrowed from them. So they gonna come up either way. If it burned down, they the first person to get paid because you got insurance on it. If it gets broken into while you're doing a renovation, you file the insurance claim and keep it rolling. Now,
Okay.
while you file the insurance claim, it might be a minute before you get your money. So you need to have some reserves. So if something happens, that's why you don't use your money. Use somebody else's money. Keep your money to the side. Something happens, I got to file an insurance claim. It might be a month before they decide to cut you a check. So in the
I did
meantime,
the I did the LLC method you were talking about. Created a LLC and got, business line of credit for
there you
reserve.
go. There you go. Now you ready to go. Just run that, do that play again. So, you got a business line of credit. Well, you got a business line of credit or credit cards. Which one?
No, I have both. I have a business line of credit and I have business credit cards.
So go run that play again on the credit cards. It says just pick different banks and do all three of them the same day.
Okay.
Hey, say that again.
It's called credit card stacking. You never
I
heard of it?
I did the LLC credit card stacking method. I went to I created a LLC in the state of Tennessee, and then I went to Pinnacle and they gave me a business line of credit, like business line open line of credit. And then since I was already a customer with American Express, they see how I spend with them anyway because I have their no limit cards, and they gave me a business line of credit card, zero interest. Then I went to Truist. I went to places where I know they'll give new LLCs because I'm a new LLC
I
that
was gonna say, how long was your
no,
LLC open?
about a year with no revenue. So I'm picking banks that that's gonna give you money with no bank statements. Hope Credit Union, if I'm not mistaken, they're one as well. Truist, Pinnacle. I don't know if you guys are in the Nashville area, PNC. They are
All you gotta do is go to
LLC friendly.
go to YouTube and type in credit card stack, and they'll tell you everything you need to know.
So that's what I did. So I got to open lines of credit and credit cards, business credit cards in my LLC.
So yeah, that's another strategy they can use. And none of that stuff shows up on her personal credit report. So,
Not at all.
and if you got credit cards, personal credit cards, use a business credit card and pay them down to, I pay ours down to 5%. I keep 5% on our personal credit cards. That keeps your credit score high all the time.
So are you saying that I could use my business credit card and pay off of my regular credit card?
Your personal card, yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that. Huh. I've been using my regular money.
So what I do is I got two companies. Well, I got three companies. I'll send an invoice to one of my companies, pay the invoice with my business credit card, take that money out that account and pay my personal credit card. And I just keep my balance low. You also need to know your report dates. It's a bunch of other stuff to it that you need to kind of be aware of. Just a lifestyle change, but it ain't that hard to do.
Yeah, your statement dates and your due dates. Know those
Yeah.
two. But I pay, mine is paid off in its entirety. And before the statement date is due, if I haven't, 9 times out of 10 it's paid off. I pay it off every month. But 9 times out of 10, I don't do the 30% utilization. I keep it under 10%.
Yeah, as long as it's under 10, that's the perfect number. I keep mine at 5%. And your scores will be close to 800 all the time.
All the time. But you got to pay on time.
Yeah, you gotta pay them on time.
You gotta pay it on time. But other than that, but I am gonna try the method you said. I'm gonna talk to my daddy again, and I'm gonna just, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
But
I'm gonna
I
talk
mean,
to
you just gotta prove to him where it's safe. I mean, and then it's your dad, so he might not need maximum return on the money. He might be cool with 8% or 10. Well, so my girlfriend and I, we pay our friends and family 10%. Interest only. Now, people that we don't know, we pay them 8. But if they say, man, 8, if they say 8, if they say they want 10%, then they have to let us, I pay you 10, but I make an annual payment. And they be like, annual payment, I want monthly payments, or I want semi-payments. I say, okay, it's 8% then. If you want me to cut you a check every 6 months or every month, then I'm paying you 8. And I let greed kick in. Greed kick in, like, no, I want the 10. Okay, well, make one payment a year.
Right.
I borrow 100 grand from you, I pay you $10,000 at the end of 12 months.
Okay.
That way I'm not making no payments. And, it's easy to keep track of.
Yeah, and if we can't find that private funding, would there be a downside of just, going to Travis and getting the whole entire 75% loan to value or 85%?
Yeah, that means you don't tied up your money that you ain't got out. Yeah, I ain't got no money in my house. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I don't think it's safe. Because if something happened, you got your money tied up in the house, right? I'd rather have my money outside of my house in a liquid state for 2 reasons. 1, take care of emergencies. 2, if an opportunity come your way, you can't take advantage of it if your money's tied up in your real estate. So I want my money to stay as liquid as I can. At the same time, I want it to be making money too. So I need to figure out a place to park it where it's making me money and liquid at the same time.
That was what I was about to ask you. So where is the best place to park it then?
Cash value life insurance contracts.
Oh, cash value life insurance. Oh, life insurance. Okay.
And high yield savings account. High yield savings account. You can do those investments where you receive dividends in return.
Do you have to pay interest on them high yield checking account, savings account?
No, you get compound interest monthly or quarterly. So my high yield interest savings account is through Amex, and it was at 4.5%. So it was compounding every single. I was watching it every 30 days. Beautiful,
Do
gorgeous.
you get a do you get a
Capital.
1099? Do you get a 1099 on that?
I did. I get a 1099.
Do you get a
Listen,
1099?
I didn't get 1099. Well, you know what? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. But you know what? I mean, it's
I'm
somewhere
using
in that
cash.
house.
I'm using cash. I'm using cash value life insurance contract. I'm not getting any. I'm getting tax free money. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
paying any. I'm not paying any interest on it. I'm loaning money to real estate investors out of my cash value life insurance contract, and I'm
Okay.
getting 15% return on my money, which is better than that 4% you were talking about.
So
And
who?
Mr. Thomas, why don't you pay her that 10% instead of her getting the 4%?
If she got some money, she can loan me. I'll take it.
Well, she's got it in the bank getting 4%. She just said it.
All right, you got 150K. I need it right now.
I do have 150K.
See?
Well,
So you owe me,
I'll be
Mr.
more than
Mr.
happy.
Thomas.
I'll be more than happy to loan it to me, and I'll pay you
But
10%.
I'm trying to see if I can get it from my daddy to give to you.
He ain't
Instead
gonna
of
do that.
mine. I'm trying to
He
be the
ain't gonna do that.
middleman. You know, I'm trying. I'm gonna try this
No,
method.
she don't have it right now. She's getting it from her dad. Okay.
Well, I mean, this is Christina's call, so everything got to go through Christina. But I talk to your dad. I can get him to loan me some money.
I will call you tomorrow, sir. So we're gonna get this money.
But how it gonna help you though?
Say that again.
How's your dad loaning me money gonna help you?
How is I'm the middleman. I know I'm getting a percentage. Y'all not gonna play in my face. Don't do that. Don't do that. I gotta get a percentage. A percentage.
Yeah, you've been talking to Christina too
My
much.
finder's fee. My finder's fee. You know, like a wholesale transaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what Christina got to say.
Okay.
Y'all hilarious.
But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of ways to do this stuff right now. I'm telling you, it's a lot of money out there. I see it's a couple of people that I sent the link out to. So the gentleman just got through talking. Y'all guys know y'all got a state senator on the line right now on the Zoom call. He's a lawyer and a state senator.
For the state of Tennessee?
Georgia.
And has been an honor to know Michael Thomas. How many years now? We were on the phone every Saturday morning at 6 a.m. talking about real estate.
For 3 years.
Yep, 3 years. And Michael helped me to understand the value of not having real estate with no debt on it, because that's when I met him. I had no debt on any of my properties, which was a good thing and a bad thing. But there are advantages of understanding the credit system. And I applaud you, Mr. Thomas, for doing this call tonight. Thank you for even sending me the link. I got on a little bit late, but you're giving some good information.
That's Christina. So Christina, she the culprit of this whole thing.
Well, Christina did a good job, because financial literacy is something that is so sorely needed. And people get a little nervous at first, but practice makes perfect, because you're going to get a learning one way or the other. So
Yeah, you're gonna pay for it one way or the other. And I'm
you
telling you,
sure are.
passive income is what we all need to get to some kind of way, so that you can buy your time back to do the things you really want to do. If you want to help people, you want to take care of your family, you can't just keep trading time for dollars. You got to figure out a way to get passive income coming in. And so, like in my case, these 32 doors, I haven't worked for anybody since 2004. And now it's boring out here when you ain't got nobody to talk to during the day.
You can talk to me.
Well, you don't answer you just now started talking to me. So, I mean, if y'all don't know Christina, Christina don't stay in the United States very often. She's always out the country.
Yes, I'm about to leave. I'm going to Mexico and Colombia.
See?
Christina, can I go with you? I want
Yes,
to go.
absolutely. Let's go, Randall.
I want to go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Christina, you're
So in October.
Christina, you're only one of the few people who I come across on the internet that's actually fair. A lot of people, it's just they're not honest. They're on the internet, but they're not honest. They say they want to help, but they're not truly honest. You're just one of the few people I've come across so far.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And everything is divine and everything originates from God. So God told me to put this community together, and I'm so glad that we are able to gather on a weekly basis and learn about these new ways of actually setting up our families for the wealth transfer that God has for us. So,
So do you want to tell them, Christina, what you do for the folks that don't know you, for the ones I invited?
uh, So I am a trust strategist. So I help families secure their legacy and for their children to actually receive their inheritance by helping them set up their own trust estate so that they don't end up in probate or they don't lose their assets by way of lawsuits. So I empower our community to go ahead and become trustees and learn how to operate a trust, learn how to set it up themselves, learn how to be efficient because a lot of us, we are talking about building a legacy. We talk about generational wealth, but we don't have the tools to do it and we're not taking the proper action to do it and we're not properly structured. And we buy into the lies that society gives us, which is work 40 hours for 40 years and retire when you're 65. And I knew that I didn't want to subscribe to that because when I was a registered nurse, I had a coworker. I think she was 65, and I was looking at her and I'm 22, 23. And I'm like, why are you not retiring? And she said, because if I wait until I'm 67 and a half or 68, then the Social Security is going to give me an extra like $100 or $200. And so she decided that she wanted to work an additional 3 years in order to get those extra little bit of money that Social Security was going to give her. And she didn't make it. So one day she was so exhausted after work that as soon as she got into her car and turned it on and started driving, she hit the tree right in front of the hospital, and she died on impact. And that impacted my life. And I said, I don't want that to be me. And I'm not going to wait until I'm 65 to retire, to travel the world, to be financially free, to not be stuck in a concrete box for 12 hours. And so I said, I'm going to give myself 10 years to get out of this rat race. And I did it in less than 8 years. And it was by way of real estate. And that was just my way of becoming financially free because I decided to go to a seminar where they was talking about real estate for 3 entire days. I fell in love with real estate. I started flipping houses. And so I was flipping houses and buying and holding. And my very first property at 25 years old, that very first property made me six figures, and I did not understand that because as a nurse, I was making $23 an hour, and I was busting my butt working probably 48 hours to 60 hours a week, making nothing. So on one house giving me six figures, I was like, oh, I cracked the code. I'm never going to have to work hard again because I'm just going to stick to real estate. And that has just been my gateway to me living a free life. So I don't work for anybody. I don't report to anybody. I just block my calendar so y'all don't find me. And I just go wherever I want to go, do whatever I want to do. I have 3 children that I take care of 24/7, and my life revolves around their schedule. So I only work 4 days. I work 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I work probably 4 hours a day those days, and I only do it while my kids are in school so that I can spend quality time with them when they're not in school and on the weekends. And I just created this life for myself, and I'm still creating my life because I'm still young. I'm 35. So this year I'm buying a farm so that I can actually I can produce the food that I want to eat, and I don't have to depend on the grocery store. So I'm buying a farm here in the United States, and I'm also buying a farm outside of the United States. And that's my next endeavor. So that's me, you guys. And I just built this community for you guys. So the community is the Wealthy Trustee, and that is where we come together collectively and we focus on financial literacy. And so we have amazing people like Michael that are financially free, and they've cracked the code, and they come in and they teach us how we can do the same thing, because success is duplicatable, right? So if you see that someone has had a success in a certain path, just know that you can also have the same success if that's what you want. So if you want to dedicate yourself, if you want to be disciplined, and if you want to duplicate what they've created, then you can do that if that's what you want. Or you can be unconventional, you can unplug yourself, and you can go down a different route and find your passion, your purpose, and build success around what you desire. So that's what I've done. And that's me.
There you go.
Period.
It's nice
So
to
when
meet you,
she's in,
Christina.
It's
yeah,
nice to
whenever,
meet you too.
yeah,
Congrats, Christina. Happy about those forms. I know you'll
Thank
do fantastic with it.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna invite all of you guys to the farm. So one of them is gonna be in Florida, the other one is gonna be in Belize. So
Nice, nice.
you guys need to come on
Them
over.
those-
So, Michael, I got this question for you. So,
okay.
I have money parked in a house that's free and clear, right? How do you get that money out without verifiable income?
Is it personal residence or rental?
No, it's an investment property, but no one is in there.
Are you planning on getting somebody in there?
Not anytime soon. But I still have to do some repairs. I repaired the roof before, and now it looks like it needs to be done. And then because it was unsupervised, they got inside and they did some damage.
Is there an insurance claim?
No.
Private money, fix it up, get you a tenant in there and call someone like Travis?
But how can you get that private money without verifiable income?
You don't need verifiable income with private money.
Okay.
You don't have to, nobody's running your credit for private money. My friends and family don't ask you for my credit report. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Makes
So
sense.
how much is it worth fixed up?
Well, as is worth 150.
So fixed up, you just gotta get your realtor, or you can go to Zillow, even though Zillow ain't gonna be accurate. You can at least get an idea. But let's just say it's worth 200 fixed up, right?
Okay.
So you don't want anyone living in it. You just want to have it.
Right. I really want to utilize it as a bank.
As a bank.
Yeah, meaning that whenever I need money, I can tap it, get that money, pay it back. So like if I
Okay.
need
Well, rent it out.
if I need 50,000 right now, but that's the scenario. Like I said, I got to do some repairs to it first.
Okay, borrow private money, do the repairs, then go get a first position HELOC or a 30-year fixed loan. Put somebody in there and let them make the payments back.
Gotcha. So where I'm gonna find this private money at?
In your phone. You know how many contacts you got in your phone?
Yeah.
What
Okay.
you say is 100 people in there?
I keep my circle small.
That's
So
right. Well, let me tell you this, strangers are gonna loan you money before your family will.
yeah, that I know.
So all you gotta do is just put a portfolio, put a presentation together. Hey, I got this house over here. It's gonna be worth $200,000 when I finish fixing it up. I don't owe any money on it. I want to borrow $50,000 from you. I'm gonna put the house up as collateral. I'm gonna renovate the property. Then I'm gonna do a cash out refi in 6 months. Just say that same thing over and over and over again to as many people as you can.
Because doing the cash out refi with Travis gives you the money to go do it again.
Well, the cash out refi gives him the money to pay off the private lender and then some. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And
makes
the tenant is making the payment plus cash flow. So you might be putting $300 of money in your pocket. You done took out $100K. You paid back the private lender his or her money. You took the rest of the money and put it in your pocket, which is tax free, by the way. And you're still getting $300 a month positive cash flow. So now that you done that good deed with that private lender, go try to figure out how to do it again.
okay.
Hey, Michael, when you get a chance, can you put your Excel sheet posted again,
You want to see it again?
please?
Hey, most of your 32 doors, are they single family homes or multi-units?
All single family
Okay.
in two different states, Arkansas and Tennessee. Can you see it now?
Yes, I'm trying to get a picture of it so I can have something to reference.
We might get with Christina and have a Saturday something or something, a real live example from somebody or something like that.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, because we're gonna. So I talked to Christina earlier today about a plan that myself and another young lady are working on. Traveling to a nice Airbnb somewhere and having a mastermind in person. It's probably gonna be limited space, but anyway, that's what we're working on. Might be a Top Golf.
We'll keep you updated.
Christina, how did you secure the funds for the out of state, the out of the country property?
Oh, I bought it cash.
Oh,
I know you didn't ask Christina that question. She got
I
money
know.
laying around.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of my international properties, I bought them cash. So I'm not familiar with like, mortgages and all that other stuff. So I'm pretty sure that some of those countries do, but I really don't know. So I know that like when I bought my property in Dubai, they offer mortgages, but it's a little unique. So I bought it cash, but I'm like on a payment plan, but everything is, money.
Okay.
Christina, did you post a link to this recording?
Yeah, I did. I put the replay link inside of the chat. Also, Michael and I, we have a friend or an associate, actually, right? I don't know if it's a friend, but
She
it's
my friend. She my friend. I don't know about you though.
no, I'm not talking about Seneca.
Oh.
I'm talking about Adonis Lockett.
Oh,
So
Adonis. Okay,
what
okay.
So one of our associates, he has a private money firm where he does two things. He actually lends private money to people, so it's kind of similar to hard money. And then he also teaches you how to get private money. And so I put his link inside of the chat if you guys are interested in getting private money from his company. So he's reputable. Some of our trustees have gone and used his services as well. And he lends nationwide. So you just have to get in contact with them and they'll be able to let you know if they can lend you private money.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So does everybody have the replay link? It's going to be on our YouTube channel. So our YouTube channel is 7 Ways to Wealth, and I'm putting the replay link in the chat for you guys. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. So does anybody have any final questions? It's way past my bedtime. You know, I need my beauty rest. So does anybody have any final questions, comments, concerns for our beautiful educator? Is he beautiful or handsome? Who knows? Anyways, our friend here. Michael, does anybody have any, I'm used to like thinking about like female educators, so I always call them beautiful. Any, you see,
Christina,
yeah.
when are you having your next class to the wealthy trustee? I mean, for the 5 days. When is the next one?
It's on Monday. You come in, Kamala?
Please send me that because I didn't do mindset from the last time. I've been so busy working my ass off, like you said, doing that 12-hour shift 4 to 5 days.
Yeah.
Believe me, and I haven't got a chance to do it yet. So send me the invite on Monday, okay?
Yeah, you're gonna get it. So everyone that is in the workshop, they're gonna get it. It's Monday through Friday of next week. We're gonna hit the ground running with the workshop. So be there because it's already, you know, we're already in the second quarter of 2025. Okay, so I'm gonna be your accountability partner to make sure that you actually get it done. And
Wonderful,
the type of
wonderful. Thank you.
accountability partner that I am, I'm gonna be like hounding you. So the people,
Thank you.
yeah, the people know. So I'm gonna have you on my naughty list until you get it notarized, and then you're gonna be removed from the naughty list. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Christina, is that for the do-it-yourself?
Do it yourself. Yeah, so do it yourself. You don't have access to the workshops. So the workshop is for the done with you people. If you want to upgrade, you can upgrade. So you can just send us an email or a text message, and then we'll let you know what the cost will be in order to upgrade so that you could attend the workshops if that's what you want to do.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
But that list has little or no grantors in the New York area. There's somebody there like that says they're in New York, but they're like maybe about 4 or 5 hours away.
Oh, okay. So your grantor doesn't have to be in the same state as you.
Okay. That I do know, but how do you link up with that person? Because it's kind of like hard because when you get ready to sign documents.
Yeah, so all you have to do is just email them the pages that need to be signed. So typically in the trust documents, there's about like 6 to 8 pages that need to be notarized. So you just send them those pages.
Do they have to be from the same country?
No, they don't have to be they don't have to be American or, you know, from any particular country. Like they don't have to be American in order to be your grantor. All right, guys, so we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for joining us tonight in this amazing masterclass. We have a lot of other master classes scheduled for you guys. So we have other real estate investors that are going to come in and educate you guys on their strategic way of acquiring real estate. We have other professionals that are going to come in and teach you teach you about different things in the business world and entrepreneurship. So just stay tuned. So we're gonna always announce it in the Telegram chat and in the Facebook community, okay? And you'll receive text messages and emails. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Wait,
I
wait,
hope-
what's
Hey,
the
can
name
I
of
ask
that
Michael a
Facebook
question real quick?
group?
Yeah, go for it.
Hey, Michael, I was invited through Sam on here. I was saying if I can get any contact from you so I can talk to you a little more.
Yeah, just reach back out to Samuel.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
I can. I
Christina.
mean, Christina, you want me to put it in the chat or not, or what?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a son of a friend of his, and I'm just, I'm still young. I'm just starting. I'm 24 right now, and I'm just trying to start learning everything about real estate. Right now, I don't really know much, but I have been reading books and everything on real estate. So I'm just, I'm still a newborn at this pretty much. So I'm just trying to learn my ways and how to get started and everything.
All right, I put it over there in the chat.
Okay, appreciate it.
All right, you guys have a good night. I will see.
Christina,
Yeah.
for the do-it-yourself, because I'm in a do-it-yourself. I know, do you still do, like, I think it's on Wednesday, sometimes you do like a kind of open where we could like still join on it and for any questions I might have on it. Because I'm running through it. It's pretty straightforward anyway, but just, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So on Wednesdays, I have webinars. So I had one last night. It's not every single Wednesday, and then sometimes we have Q&A sessions. So I think we either have one next week or the week after where we have just a session for Q&A. So that's going to be, are you in Telegram or Facebook?
Yeah, I'm in a Telegram. I haven't really. Actually need to check the Facebook group, but I'm actually in Ivory Coast right now. So that grand tour, that's why when you mentioned that grand tour not having to be in the country, I'm like my wheels are turning. So I'll be here for like 30 days. So I think when you have that Wednesday, I'm gonna like go through a lot more of the content and try to maybe finish it before Wednesday, so that if I had any questions, I'll just listen through again.
Okay, sounds good. So we're
Thanks so
gonna go
much.
ahead and announce it in the Telegram chat and in the Facebook. Okay.
How did I
What's
want
the name of the Facebook group?
It's Wealthy Trustee Community.
Wealthy Trustee Community.
Yeah, but it's only for the people who are inside of my program. So it's like a private, it's a private community. So you won't be able to search for it. You can't find it on Facebook. It's only, it's invite only.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Is
Yeah.
the link in your bio?
It is, yeah.
Okay. The link in your bio on Facebook.
Yeah, I will, I'll put my website in the chat.
Okay.
Okay. Antonio, you had a question?
Yeah, I said, how did I wind up missing last night?
Oh, I don't know.
It's your fault.
Yeah, I was incognito.
Yeah, because I didn't see anything about it.
You didn't? Okay, we're gonna have to see if you're like still on the list. So, oh, Lynn said last night was awesome. Yeah, I was going rampant. So we went for 3 hours and 20 minutes last night. It was pretty cool.
Rub it in, why don't you?
Yeah.
Are those recorded?
Yeah, it's on my YouTube channel. So, let me put the link to my YouTube channel on there. Let me see YouTube channel.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The logo on your YouTube is 7W, right?
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, just subscribed to it just now.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I have a question, Christina.
Yeah, what'd you say?
Yeah, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. When it comes to the responsible party, when we get in the EIN for the truck, is the responsible party the grantor or is the responsible party the trustee?
The responsible party is the grantor. And then after you put the grantor's information, then they're gonna ask you also for the trustee's information.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, guys. So you have an amazing night, and then we will see you next week. Next week we have the workshop. And then we'll also most likely have a Q&A session. So I'll get with the team so we could put something on the schedule and send you guys the Zoom links. So you guys have a blessed and amazing evening and a great weekend.
Thank
Bye.
you, Christine.
You're
Thank you.
too.
Have a
Thank you,
great night
Christine.
too.
Thank you, Michael.
Bye.
You're
Bye.
so
Y'all have a
welcome.
Thank you,
blessed one.
Michael.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you
Welcome.
so much, Michael. We appreciate you pouring into the community and educating us. Thank you. And we need
Appreciate
to,
you letting me talk to your tribe.
yeah, we need to bring him back.
All right, y'all take it easy.